disappointment.
Oh, my God. The Jets killed him.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy is coming to you live from the Ingles studio and the NFLDraft.net Mullet Manor. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400, everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. And we're seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com. Click the live video link. Subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. It is a Friday. We've made it, Jeremy. Another week in the
Friday,
books.
for me at this point, really means very little. Hey, it's Friday. Cool. That just means now it's the time where you're all off and you can consume the stuff that I do over the weekend, which is that's
Absolutely.
Cool.
Absolutely. You got a big mock draft of Palooza coming up tomorrow on the YouTube stream. So
it's going to be
mark
great.
your calendars for that.
Tomorrow at noon, it'll be like Total Request Mullet. You ask it, you got it. And we'll do it for a few hours of just all mock drafty things.
Just however long it takes, huh?
We'll do it until it's done.
Okay. All right. Mock Draft of Palooza tomorrow on the YouTube stream. Today on the program, we've got the unveiling of the Amon Ra St. Brown team. This is Jeremy's favorites of the draft. The guys that he's higher on than anybody else in the industry. It once was called the Chase Claypool team, which we don't talk about that anymore.
No, that didn't actually happen. It's fake news. Fake news.
No, just goes to show you, you can have one good year. You could have one good year and then just kind of disappear after that. But the Amon Ra St. Brown team has such a nicer ring to it, and I feel like that name is here to stay. You could call this, so many things. One thing you could not call it is the Justin Jefferson list. Just feel like I had to throw that in there because, I haven't got to rib you over that yet this draftmas season. So. But you could name this the Quinion Mitchell list. I remember that was one of the huge hits.
He was a member of this
years.
list last year.
Yes. So the guys that Jeremy's higher on than the rest of the industry. If you missed the Baker Mayfield team, you can go back and check that out on the podcast from yesterday.
I will put that out tomorrow during Mock Draft of Palooza as well. Our YouTube things did not go according to plan yesterday. I believe we got this thing straightened out. So,
accordion, does that mean that it's a flexible plan?
Everything we do is a flexible plan, Tank. It's all a flexible plan.
It's get your flex plans today for the low price of absolutely free. Here on ESPN Asheville. It's of course Final Four weekend, which, it's going to be the greatest Final Four we've ever seen. That's what they're trying to tell us. I'm excited for it, aren't you, Jeremy?
It won't be the greatest Final Four I've ever seen because I won't seen it.
You're not going to watch it at all?
I might throw on the final. In terms of, do I really care about anything that's happening this weekend? No, sir, I don't.
Okay, all right. Final Four still going. You got Florida and Auburn, Duke and Houston. Of course, the winners taking on each other in the national championship on Monday. What was that I saw yesterday? Out of the all the teams in the NCAA tournament. Efficiency-wise, the efficiency score, I guess maybe they went by the Ken Palm rankings or whatever. The 4 teams that are playing in the Final Four this year are 4 of the 6 strongest teams that have existed in college basketball in the last 20 years, I think it was. All 4 of the Final Four teams are as good as every national champion that has been over the last 20 years, I believe it was. That's pretty impressive.
Woo.
So it could be some really good basketball this weekend. What? You don't agree?
No, I don't.
Okay.
You want to know why they look so good? Because everybody else is so bad.
Maybe that's why. I don't know what ranking that was based on, but that's what it said. Part of me wants to believe it because I honestly believe this Duke team is the best team that they've had, that college basketball has had in a long time.
It's hard. It's hard for me to get into college basketball because it's such haves and have-nots. It's become baseball, and you know how I feel about baseball, and you know why.
True. It's and hey, speaking of baseball, Atlanta Braves fans today here on ESPN Asheville, you may get a chance to hear them win their first game of the season after opening up 0-7 on the road out on the West Coast against the Padres and the Dodgers. That coverage begins here on ESPN Asheville at 7 o'clock this evening with the home opener down at Truist Park, Miami Marlins.
Well, here's the thing. You can't lose any more than you've already lost.
Well, you could.
You can lose more. You just can't lose any worse than you've already been losing. A loss is a loss.
Yeah, well, don't say that. They haven't lost one of those 13-1 games just yet. It's all been pretty respectable. Let's not send that out into the ether. Sure, Braves fans will be really on the edge if they added one of those beatdown games to this losing streak. It should be over tonight. If I had to wager, I would imagine it would be done tonight. Geno Smith's got a new contract, Jeremy. So excited. 2 years, $75 million.
Whee!
Hot. Yay! We're doing stuff.
So he's here for another extra year. Yay.
Well, it's, Pete Carroll, right? He trusts who he trusts.
And I get that. Carroll. Look, I'm excited for what the Raiders can be. I just the deal itself is basically just extra year.
Sure.
Yay.
Yeah, you give him a little bit of security. You give him, nobody likes to be playing on that last deal, that last year of the deal, not knowing what's coming up next. Pete trusts Geno Smith. And as I said, it's hard not to trust Pete. Just like Mike Tomlin. I feel like it's hard not to trust guys like that.
And look,
right.
I think he'll be successful with the Raiders. I know you don't because you hate the Raiders.
No. If he cannot, if he can run this, if he cannot run this like a circus, then I'll be behind you. I'll pull for you. I was pulling for him when Gruden went back, and that didn't work out.
I don't ever want Gruden to go back to coaching. I just want him to open boxes badly on Barstool Sports for the rest of his life.
Just keep unboxing stuff.
Yeah, and coaches, please do me a favor. Keep sending him things that have 8 pounds of tape on them because that man cannot use a knife to save his life. I can't wait for the day he stabs one of those boxes and just gores half the box. Like, hey, I got a shirt with a stab wound in it.
I want to send him one of our shirts and zip tie it.
Oh, we should send a swag box to John Gruden.
Just zip tie it shut.
Oh, we should totally send an NFLDraft.net swag box to John Gruden. That's a brilliant idea.
Never heard of this, man. These guys.
Don't know who this guy is, man. Looks like Luke Combs if Luke Combs was fatter and taller. Got a cool logo, though, man. Got flags on it with the year that it started.
Found out that these guys are now the Migos of sports radio.
They are, without a doubt. They
are
live
without it.
They just get involved, man. Got to have that bumping all day long.
He is quite the character. He's very entertaining.
Oh, speaking
I always liked him better as the media guy. Right? Remember how great all those quarterback camp things were during the draft process with him on ESPN? the Gruden's quarterback camp. Every episode was must-watch television.
Tank, I've been around for a long time. I remember when we were talking about Gruden's Grinders, man, on Monday Night Football.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
This guy right here, man, it's a Gruden grinder. Just funny because I have a grinder sandwich sitting right in front of me as we speak. It's my lunch. I didn't get to fix.
Yeah. Look at that.
And Tank has an account on it. Oh, I wanted to be better than that. I did. I didn't.
I missed it.
You did? The people in the chat
I missed
did.
what you said.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Yeah. I missed what you said.
That was a 3-minute setup for a joke that I screamed through in 14/10 of a second, man.
I was going to say. You zipped through the punchline there, and I missed it. I still don't know what you said.
Don't worry, the chat will tell you.
Awesome. So thrilling. So thrilling. As we head toward the NFL draft, Jeremy, do you have do you sit around and think about things like, man, I really hope these guys don't screw this up?
I don't necessarily think about it that way. I'm more thinking about players.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm more thinking about players.
Because I think about organizations, and I think, man, as we're going into this draft, like with the draft capital that you have and the little baby steps that you've taken, like I look at a team like the Chicago Bears and go, man, I really hope you don't screw this up totally.
Let me ask you a question. So
yeah.
you said you hope they don't screw this up totally. What could they do at 10 that's screwing it up totally?
I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that's the Ashton Gianti pick? Do you think that's the landmine?
I don't mind Gianti with the Bears because they've addressed so many of their needs. I don't love it. I would rather go Caleb Johnson in the second round, but I mean, I wouldn't. I'm not going to jump up and down and stomp my feet. That's the one team in the top 10 that could take Ashton Gianti, and I'd go, okay. Mainly because I don't trust your quarterback at all. I trust the government more than I trust Caleb Williams. And I don't know how he's going to adjust this offense. Other than that, I don't know who they could pick that's even vaguely in the realm of possibility, unless they went Mykel Williams for some reason. That I would make fun of a lot.
That would be my fear. That would be my fear, that it would be like a Mykel Williams, Jalen Walker. I don't know. I just don't. I don't have high hopes for either of those guys at the next level of it, or at least of paying off as a top 10 pick. And I feel like anybody that does that is going to that's going to be the move that you make. This is my Jamin Davis of this draft. That there's going to be somebody inside the top 10 that's going to take either one of those guys, and that's going to be the one that we look at and go, I don't think you should. Like you and Mel Kiper have been, don't do the Ashton Gianti thing. I don't do the Trayvon Walker thing. Stop reaching and hoping that there's a generational edge rusher there. Just because a guy can do things that you haven't seen a lot of guys be able to do when they're in shorts doesn't mean that that's going to translate to a great pass rusher at the next level. They're not all Micah Parsons. You want them to be, but they're not all Micah Parsons. But that would probably be it for me. That would be the move that the Bears could make, that I would go, yeah, you did it again. Because I don't hate the idea of them taking Gianti, kind of because of what you said about Caleb Williams. I want to have as many weapons around him as possible. Right? We focused on trying to fix up the offensive line. We've got all the weapons. I'm going to go get him a running back that can't miss.
Oh, look,
Tampa Bay has been proving. Tampa Bay's been proving that you can put, weapons around somebody and lift them up to a place you never thought they would be. I mean, that's what's happening to Baker Mayfield in Tampa. They went and found a running game this year with Bucky Irving, and it has transformed him, along with Chris Godwin and Mike Evans and the other weapons that they've found. That's what you need to try to do.
Well, I mean, look, the path to righteousness
Bears.
for the Bears, the secret's out, and the secret sauce is out. If you want the Bears to be really good, you need to play like a better defensive version of the Detroit Lions, where you're winning. Your quarterback makes plays, but you're a running football team that plays good defense. You've got a really good offensive line. You just punch people in the mouth, and your quarterback does things when asked.
Yes.
Your defense is better. Your quarterback is worse. That's your path. So if they take Genty, I'm not going to be upset about that. I don't think you got the most value. But you also have 2 second-round picks, which is exactly where I want to be. I want to be at 40 because to me that is the honey hole of this draft class.
Mm-hmm.
And with the unveiling of the Amon Ra St. Brown team over the next 2 hours, you're going to see how much of a honey hole it is because there's a mess of guys that are going to go in the second round, third round on this team.
Yep. All right, you are in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. I wasn't really wanting to make that all just a Bears-specific segment there, but it is one of the teams that weighs on my mind as we get closer and closer to the end of this month in Green Bay of who needs this the most. And I think Chicago kind of fits that bill. They're one of those teams anyway. We will be back right here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400 right after this.
This is a story of...
And we're clear.
As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
How do you spot the all-new Nissan Rogue Rock Creek? Here's a hint. It's got all-terrain tires, a tubular roof rack you can't miss, and it's tough inside and out with lava red detailing. You'll also find it in its natural habitat, climbing mountains, attacking rugged trails, and never backing down from any adventure. The first ever Nissan Rogue Rock Creek.
Intelligent all-wheel drive cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions. Always secure cargo. Heavy loading of the vehicle with cargo, especially on the roof, will affect the handling and stability of the vehicle.
Lowe's is the destination for Ego outdoor power equipment this spring. See what's new and exclusive, like the 17-inch string trimmer with Line IQ technology that auto-feeds to save you time, and the 22-inch Select Cut self-propelled mowers with the
It's climbing the ladder.
cutting. Shop Ego Days, happening now during Spring Fest at Lowe's. We help, you save. Selection varies by location while supplies last.
Here's what's trending now on the new and improved iHeartRadio app.
We have mind-blowing magic, raw conversations, and a lot of Hollywood tea. First, we got David Blaine sitting down with Jay Shetty to reveal all the secrets behind his legendary illusions. Then we got Becky G getting real like never before in the In Our Own World podcast. Plus, we got Natasha Rothwell dishing on all things White Lotus on Las Culturistas.
Explore the latest. Open the free iHeartRadio app and see what's trending now.
Looking to buy or sell in Western North Carolina? At Clarissa Sells WNC, we're proud to be the #1 real estate team in Buncombe County, selling over 100 homes in 2024. We represent both buyers and sellers, and with a personalized approach to meet your needs.
114.
Real estate isn't about properties; it's about people.
So we're climbing the ladder. We're 2 steps away from the top on the congratulations emails.
We're here for what matters most: you.
Welcome to Harvest Farms, where the best organic or natural product,
Pullman,
where the fields are filled with flavorful delights, and every bite is backed with the highest quality and attention. This is a place of affordable organic adventure, where freshness reigns supreme, that can only be found at
It's funny looking at the email chain as it goes. Zach, Steve, Maynard,
Bears Smokehouse Bar,
Hartley,
Nashville,
Tom.
Pour, a cut-up and sip-down class, a butcher.
Just inching closer and closer up that ladder.
Sustainable farming, plus Highwire Brewing will be on hand to pair craft beers with mouth-watering barbecue bites. Join us on April 9th, where butchery meets brews. Go to bearsbbq.com to learn more. Cheers to Pork and Pours.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
It is ESPN Asheville. We are the Sportsocracy. Coming to you live from the Ingalls studio. And Jeremy from the NFLDraft.net Mullet Manor.
And you only miss seeing me with just a big old mouthful of sandwich by like 7 seconds.
Yeah.
I've been up and doing this, so I think we should do this every day as just a hashtag built different update of the day. I fell asleep at 4:15 this morning. I was back in this chair at 7:45 this morning, and I've been doing this since then.
That's a lot.
Hashtag built different.
Dedication. Exactly. It's dedication. Only kind of coverage that you. This is why people tell you that you're more prepared, you're more locked in to this draft than almost anybody else in this country, because there are very few people that will spend their time doing what you're doing.
I also have a very patient
you're
wife.
Just doing it for the people.
And if you want to see me on a couple different shows, Chad Parsons. The NFL fantasy football, I can't remember his name. You can find him on Twitter. I just did an episode with him. I've done a lot of stuff with the Washington Commanders. I was on, his name is eluding me. It'll come to me in a minute. I was on a show in the DMV yesterday in drive time, and I'm on the Team 90 podcast on YouTube.
Nice. Look at that. Get some outside exposure. Oh, speaking of outside exposure, I haven't had the chance to say this on the radio yet, but nobody services America like iHeartRadio Asheville.
Fact.
Today we got the notification that my other job over on News Radio 570 WWNC, today we found out that we were awarded the National Association of Broadcasters Leadership Foundation 2025 Small Market Celebration of Service to America Award. So, yeah, that's a lot of words. That's a lot of words, but the service to America part really is awesome to be tied to and thought of in that respect, because it's the one thing that we do as broadcasters is to try to service the client, right? You want to serve your community and serve your listenership, and it's an absolute honor to be able to play a big role in that, and yeah, it's our first big award. It's a major award.
It's a major award.
We're gonna post it up.
and you're not you're not prone to tooting your own horn. But,
I am not.
And I will not toot your horn for you. We have a story later in this show that says you shouldn't toot your own horn. It will tell that in crimes. I will say there's no two people that deserve this more than the two of you. I don't know about the major markets. I don't know about the other markets. It very well deserved for everything you guys did through Helene and in the aftermath of that, and literally every minute since. I'm very proud to tell people that hey, that's my co-host on the show that means way less in the grander scheme of things.
Now I can say about myself, award-winning producer Tank Spencer, and not feel like I'm just making it up. And or I'm not just leaning on the Scotty Road Armor Employee of the Year award.
Did you win that?
I did like 7 years ago, something like that.
Did you win it the year you got fired?
No, it was the year before.
Oh, okay.
It was
like every person I've ever seen win that award literally got fired the next year.
Yeah. It was kind of a joke going around, and then it might have been two years after. But anyway, that's beside the point. You haven't lived in this business unless you've been fired.
I've lived because I got fired when you did. I wasn't even an employee and got fired. You know how hard it is to get fired when they don't pay you?
Yeah, that's difficult to do. You just, sir, could you please stop coming in here for free?
We don't want to, not only are we not going to pay you, we don't want your free services either.
We don't want your life.
We have a couple super chats we need to get to.
All righty. Nope, got to hit that. There you go.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
You're going to have to read it because I don't have it in front of me.
Okay. The first one's from Red Sea talking about sending a box to Gruden's Grinders, man. Send him a box with an entire roll of tape on it. Zip tie it as well, man. I think it's a great idea. I say we send him one with both of our logos on it. We'll put the Sportsocracy Show logo on one side, the NFLDraft.net website logo on the other side. Literally tape that thing within an inch of its life and just see if he does a video of it. If he does a video of it, it would be literally the greatest publicity we ever had.
Absolutely. Because he'll be saying, the Sportsocracy, what is this, man?
It's a cool logo, man. It's got a beer mug with a city in it, man. That's as good as it gets from a graphic design point, man. You can always tell when I've been listening to more Gruden because my impersonation of him gets better.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't stop watching those unboxing videos. I now understand when my children were younger why they would watch those unboxing Bratz dolls videos, and I would make fun of them of, why are you watching other kids play with their toys? Well, now I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm looking at all this cool swag going, man, I wish somebody'd send me some swag. I could do a video like that, and I'm funny. I'm as funny as John Gruden.
Watching him open those is like, it's a better version of watching people open baseball card packs. I don't understand how those get so many views. But I stumbled on one the other day that was, it had like 3 million views or something. And all it was just this dude going, it's not even like he pulled anything great in the pack. It was just some dude flipping through cards, not even giving like, banger analysis or anything. Just, hey, look what I got. Why is that so intriguing? Why is people unboxing and unpackaging things so intriguing?
Because it's stuff that you, at least for me, because it's stuff you want. I like to watch Gruden pull all the stuff out and go, I'd wear that. I don't even like that team. I would totally wear that. You know what I really would like? And this, I swear to God, I'm not like shilling for free stuff. Mm-hmm. I would love like D or FCS and D2 schools to send in merch that we wear at events. You remember on Home Improvement, Tim Allen used to do that?
Yes.
So Tim Allen went to Western Michigan. Home Improvement's on YouTube now, or on not YouTube, Netflix. You're welcome. Go watch it. It was great. And he would wear different sweatshirts and stuff like that on the show from different colleges in Michigan. I would do the same thing with small schools. I know your swag's not going to be as cool as Miami's got $1 bajillion for swag, but I'd rock it.
You'd wear some, what would like banana slugs gear?
Oh, for sure. A Presbyterian blue hose pullover. I would wear that at the draft just so people would walk up to me and go, why does your shirt say hose on it? And you misspelled it, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
E before the S, bruh. Not that kind.
Not that kind. It's not what that means at all. All right, let's hit the other ones.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
This one's from our buddy Sir Jimothy, who is a great charitable human being, and you will be hearing very soon about his charitable endeavors around the mountains of western North Carolina. He's also a great man that wanted to do these endorsement things with us and wanted to make sure that he paid us before the draft just in case we needed the extra funds while we were up there.
Yes.
That, my friends, is a good man. He said, just joining, did Jerry Jones do anything dumb today? Not that I've seen so far. I mean, I'm sure he did, but he didn't do it in public.
Right. He totally whacked his toe on the on the kitchen counter this morning and said falafel.
Oh, I feel very sure he said something to his secretary when he walked in this morning that could be deemed as not good for the workplace, but that's probably the extent of it.
Look, any guy who uses the phrase glory hole with all sincerity and doesn't mean what the rest of us think when we hear that guy, there's always something weird going on in that brain.
Tank, I can definitively say if we did Sportsocracy bingo cards, there would be so many winners today. Because the phrase you just used, I'm sure somebody would have had that in the I column going, no shot that ever gets said. And yet, here we are.
Yet here we are, setting new standards, servicing America.
For sure.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
You know what they say, nobody services their community better than Tank Spencer, man.
That's right. That's right.
Red Sea, we also got Trey McBride locked in. Now Trey McBride is the highest paid tight end in the NFL, and I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm perfectly okay with that. You had to get him locked in. He changes that offense so much.
Yes.
And that is a guy that, you know, for better or worse, you can say what you want to say about how accurate I am with the draft. If it's negative, the only response I'm going to give you is going to be 2 words. There's going to be a period in between them. And it's going to be scoreboard.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Trey McBride was a dude that I was super right on.
Yes. Absolutely. And deservedly. I mean, here is my only request. Could you please get him in the end zone? Just once or twice? Can we try to do that more?
See,
did he score
and those things
at
will
all
take
last
care of
year?
themselves.
Did he go all season without a touchdown?
No, he got in. I just don't remember how many times.
Yeah,
he had not scored through like 14 weeks or something dumb.
Yeah,
like
it was dumb. It was dumb.
He scored twice.
That dude should be a 12 touchdown a year guy.
He scored twice, and it was the 2 last games of the season. He made it through 15 games and scored 2 in the last 2 games.
Well, at some point, Kyler's got to be like, whatever we got to do, we got to get him into the end zone at least once. The dude's got over 1,000 yards receiving, and we hadn't let him hit pay dirt yet. It's the most annoying season in the history of seasons.
Oh, we have one more super chat before we have to take a quick break.
Okay.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
It's also from Red Sea, who said technically 4 times. I think he had 1 call back, and I know he had a rushing touchdown. So he is correct. Technically, he did score 4 times. On paper, he scored 3 times.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Never know what we're going to say. Up next.
ESPN Asheville.
Oh, we're clear.
The you laughing over the commercial was
went
what
86 this morning.
Yes.
The record high. It's 83, so we're expected to break that record high. Probably get another one tomorrow. Beautiful looking afternoon, beautiful Friday evening out. Overnight.
Look, Grinder and Glory Hole, you can check those off.
warm, breezy 85, and a chance of showers later on Sunday
solid
morning
start,
into the
man.
afternoon with a high of 75. Much cooler next week. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Staging.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
Sweetie, come here. Don't worry. I see a lot of patients with the exact same thing.
Ever since the ice skating rink went in next door?
Or is it more than
Dr. Clark's business is heating up.
So many patients need my help. How will I find time to see all of them?
They need to hire a scheduler, stat.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your Nature-Made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle. Based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Show of hands. Who talked to their mom about helping
Even now, I still get excited when I hear one of my songs playing on the radio. Thank you, iHeartRadio, for honoring the truth I've fought for in my music.
Because we believe in the power of music. All your favorite artists, all in one place. The free iHeartRadio app.
Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports have teamed up under a new local owner to serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports can customize whatever you, your team, or your local group may need with high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving. Visit mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com. That's mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com for your local one-stop custom apparel shop.
Buying or selling a home doesn't have to be stressful. Let me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your local real estate expert, guide you every step of the way. Whether you're searching for your dream home, looking to sell quickly, or exploring investment opportunities, I've got the experience and the tools to get you the best deal possible. Call me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty at 828-774-6343. Let's make your real estate dreams a reality. I'm your trusted realtor. I'm making moves and making dreams come true.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville, introducing you to this month's Parks Community Heroes, Corey and Kristen Short and the entire team at Silverados, who converted their music venue in Black Mountain into a donation and distribution zone in the wake of Hurricane Helene. Corey and his team founded Valley Strong Disaster Relief, dedicated to providing essential support to our neighbors in need. Nominate your Parks Community Hero at parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
We're back in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, and what is this? Oh no, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe we do have a stupid Jerry Jones moment here. I just saw a headline pass by here. Oh no, this is Kelly Clarkson apparently is throwing shade at Jerry Jones. That's one I didn't have on the bingo card today, Jeremy. Speaking of bingo cards, did you have Kelly Clarkson calls out Jerry Jones?
I didn't really remember that Kelly Clarkson was a person.
Wow, that's kind of harsh.
It was like, since you've been gone, and then she been gone ever since.
She's got a daytime TV show. I mean, she's doing stuff.
Tank,
still.
I dare you, outside of The View, tell me something that Jeremy Green would rather watch less than the Kelly Clarkson show.
The Drew Barrymore show.
You know, I gave you a challenge, and you rose to it. and I salute that. Does she have a show, too?
She does.
Oh, my God. What do they talk about? Your chakra?
Yeah.
You have a really good aura.
they're trying to fill that slot. You can't just have soap operas on daytime TV.
Young and even old kings of this world. If you meet a girl and she talks like Drew Barrymore, run in the opposite direction. She will ruin your life. I know. I married her once. Where everything is just up when she says it. Bad. Run away.
Oh, Kelly Clarkson, apparently she's a big Dallas Cowboys fan. And she was doing an interview for Us Weekly Celebrity. I didn't even realize that was still a magazine. Maybe they have a big online presence that I'm not aware of. Do they still have Us Weeklies on the rack at the old Ingles supermarkets? Low prices, love the savings.
What was it?
It used to be. I know they used to Us Weekly.
Tank.
That used to be
I
like
dare
one of
you
the...
find me something I would rather read less than Us Weekly.
Right. But remember, like, it always sat on that little island right there as you're checking out at the grocery store, and it was right next to the National Enquirer and the Star and those kinds of rags. I mean, now mostly it's just here's another anthology book about the Beatles or whoever died this week.
Oh yeah, I say I always got stuck on like the National Enquirer.
Oh yeah, Bat Boy Lives.
Oh yeah, Kim Kardashian's an alien from outer space, and she only survives with skin-to-skin contact of people we can't figure out why they're celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, that's actually true. I guess that wasn't. Maybe that was in Us Weekly.
Right. In the interview, regardless, Kelly Clarkson saying that she's sick and tired of Jerry Jones telling everybody that next year is going to be our year. She says every year it's the same story over and over every year. And she said, now when he says, well, now it's the time. Well, how is this different from the last time or the time before that or the time before that? It's not very different from last year's time, which also was the time.
Oddly enough,
Kelly
my
Clarkson
story
throwing solid shade at Jerry Jones. I like it.
Oddly enough, my story also about the Dallas Cowboys. A minute ago, I asked you, name me a show that I would rather watch less than the Kelly Clarkson Show. A potential answer to that would be FS1's The Facility, and that is where this story comes from. LaShawn McCoy talking about said Dallas Cowboys. Here's his quote. I'll be honest, man. Listen, if Dak Prescott has a season like he's always had going into that next year, right? Dak, find a realtor. First of all, that first sentence doesn't make any sense. I don't know where you put prepositions wrong and nouns. Your sentence structure makes my brain hurt as a writer. So just I don't know what the hell you meant right there. Didn't make any sense. The find a realtor thing, he's referring to Joe Milton. Okay.
Dear Lord.
This is a rant that Jeremy will go on as a non-former player.
Shady, brother. Come on.
As a non-former player in the NFL, I have to say this because if I don't say this, then I'm not being honest with my audience. And I was always told, be honest with your audience.
That's right.
I want you, this is your homework, listeners of this show. I want you to go listen to 10 minutes of LaShawn McCoy and then listen to 10 minutes of me and Tank Spencer and then tell me that players automatically make better analysts than non-players. Because if you think that, that's fine. I now know that I need to talk slower to you because you don't comprende. Because that is between that and Maurice Jones-Drew having Travion Henderson at 10 to the Chicago Bears. It has not been a good week for former NFL running backs saying stuff.
Dudes, y'all, wow.
I think Maurice Jones-Drew does a mock draft every year, and he picks 32 picks that make sense, and then he takes out one and goes, what's the dumbest thing I could possibly say right here? What is the thing that makes the least sense?
Right.
Not only did he take
wanna
Travion
say-
Henderson at 10, he took him over Marion Hampton and Caleb Johnson.
Excuse me. Okay. Interesting.
There is a way that
go
Travion
get your guy, right?
Now, look, there is a way that Travion Henderson goes in the top 10 of the NFL draft.
Mm-hmm.
And that is if Roger Goodell comes down with a decree that says only running backs can be selected in the top 10, then Travion Henderson has a decent to good chance to go in the top 10.
he might sweat it out to 9.
Sure.
But he'd still go in the top 10.
Not going to the top 5, but if we could only draft running backs, he would have a solid chance to hear his name in the top 10.
Yeah. Awesome.
But editors, do we not have editors anymore? Do we just post stuff? I keep going back to that thing David Smith said at the Combine. It's free to say stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You can say anything you want to. Joe Biden's the greatest president that ever lived. The government is not out to terrorize you or take your money. Birds are real. I think The View makes some really well orchestrated points.
Just 'cause you say it doesn't make it
that was
true.
free. I'm just saying stuff. None of it makes any sense, but it's free
Right.
to say it.
Right.
If somebody
All
doesn't
right,
clip that out, I feel like we did it wrong. And Tank, I do have to tell you, you remember that thing you said like 3 years ago of you were going to snip out all of the Jeremy analogies just to show what it's like to work with me on a daily basis?
Yeah.
I gave you 3 years to do that. The Commanders did it the 4th time I appeared on one of their shows, and it is absolutely hilarious.
Nice.
If you didn't know what I was talking about, you would think I was out of my mind.
That's awesome. I like it. All right, we want to start with the unveiling of the Amon Ra St. Brown team because I'm afraid we're going to run out of time if we don't start now.
Yeah, let me switch all the recordings over here because I had already tapped out and said, well, looks like we're doing it in an hour.
I don't think we're doing it now.
We
but
started
maybe
we started
we
talking
should.
about Grindr and different things like that. Next thing you know, it's been an hour.
We got sidetracked just a little bit. Shocker of shockers. That's what happens here in the sportsocracy. It is that's why we call it your daily dose of dumbassery, because we forget what we're doing sometimes and go, oh yeah, we got stuff.
Speaking of that, we do have stuff, and you can't see this because you can't see the chat. We have 2 super chats we have to get to before we do anything.
Okay.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
The first one is from Remo Suave, which is a great name. Said, hey, Jeremy, what's your expert analysis on Colorado's Jimmy Horn Jr. and LeJohntay Webster? Where do you think they'll land in the draft, if at all? Let me look at my board here. I actually have LeJohntay, I believe I have him over Jimmy Horn Jr. No, I don't. LeJohntay's he's a premium undrafted free agent for me. And Jimmy Horn is in the 6th round. Jimmy Horn's a shifty guy.
Mm-hmm.
And now, look, does he have some body limitations? Yes, and that's putting it very delicately and very nicely. I mean, he came in at the Combine, he was 5.081 and 174. Ran a 4.46. I think he can be a good slot. You're just going to have to give him some time to get there. LeJohntay is the other shorter receiver at Colorado. They had one that was tall, whose name is right now eluding me. I think LeJohntay will be an undrafted free agent that probably gets priority from somebody because he's another one that in the right situation, I just struggle with guys that are so light. You know, LeJohntay was 163. Jimmy Horn Jr. was 174. Neither one of them ran sub 4.4. They weren't 4.54 like Tez Johnson was. So, but then again, when you watch them on tape, they don't separate like Tez Johnson does. I think they both have chances to be 4th or 5th receivers in the NFL that play primarily out of the slot. What's going to get them is that there are so many slot receivers in this class. And beauty's going to be in the eye of the beholder. And I've said this before, the term of the day of the 2025 NFL draft is big slot. I will be making shirts for NFLdraft.net that just say, I am a big slot with the logo. And you can wear those on draft night, and people will think you're out of your mind. Or that you can't spell.
Yep.
And you don't know the difference between an O and a U.
All right, we got another super chat.
Yes.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
It's from our buddy Great North Sports that will, and I'm so excited about this, and I have to give his lovely better half credit every single time that she made this happen. He will be joining us for the 2025 NFL Draft in Green Bay, Wisconsin. You get to meet him in person. You've never done that. I'm excited for that. There's a possibility you're also going to be sleeping in the same room. So we have a lot of people.
Okay.
We got a lot of people. A lot of Airbnbs like putting double beds in the same room. Hadn't narrowed
That's
that
fine.
down yet.
I'm just not sharing a bed.
No, I'm not sharing a room. So I'm the one that had to stress the booking. So even if I'm in a single, which is a terrible idea, I do have to have my own room. We have to give the medium time to get his chakras right before the selections happen. Great North says it's free to say stuff, which is it's such a great line. I want to make shirts with his logo on it that just say it's free to say stuff. That's such a good line. Mm-hmm. 2, these are the episodes that really showcase the Mullet Man's prospect depth. I appreciate you saying nice things. I've really been inundated with people saying nice things over the last 2 days. I don't know what to do with that. Nobody's told me to throw myself in front of a bus, off a bridge, in front of a moving car in like a day and a half, and that's bizarre to me. What this really shows is that I need a hobby really bad. I need to take up macrame or knitting or something.
So you can make some jean shorts?
Sure. They would be for you, for sure. You like
no? They'd be
Coldplay.
They'd be for Savone Ravel.
Oh, I would totally.
Did you see that? Did you see him on the treadmill in his jean shorts? And
I did.
Went, that's weird. I didn't know that was a thing again. But okay.
I was wondering who was going to pick up his story. Did you read that story about Savone Ravel?
Yes.
That he worked at the Amazon delivery hub with his dad and went to I knew that story. I was just curious who was going to pick it up, and it was ESPN. It's a great story.
He went to Lewisburg College here in North Carolina and had like a 2.0 GPA.
Yep.
Was not academically eligible, and then he went to a workout, and ECU went, "Yep, we got to have him." And then he did the work, and then he just graduated with his bachelor's degree and a 3.0 GPA and go into the NFL. It's a great turnaround story.
Those are the stories that I can 100% get behind. And just so you know, I would 100% macrame Savone Ravel a pair of jean shorts. and then I would macrame myself a pair so that we could do karate in the garage together because I love him. A name you might hear in the next hour when we talk about a list of my favies.
That's right. The Amon Ra St. Brown team, the unveiling coming up next here on ESPN. Ashley, you had one more quick thing?
I did. The last thing that Great North said in his super chat, and it was a sizable one, so make sure we get every word in there. He said, Can't wait to get to work at the 2025 NFL Draft. Let's go, boys. We're very excited. David Smith, Cowboy Zach Hurst, Tank, and myself. It's going down in the DMs. Let's go.
Mm-hmm. Yes. The Ingles Living the Dream Tour will ride again going at the end of the month to Green Bay, Wisconsin for the 2025 NFL Draft with Ingles Supermarkets, Parks Ford of Hendersonville, Clarissa sells WBNC.com, and Bears Smokehouse Barbecue. We'll be right back here in the Sportsocracy with the Amon Ra St. Brown team next.
ESPN Asheville.
Clear.
Thank you.
Your mountain weather forecast.
Well, it went 86 this morning and forgot to mention the record high. Well, it's 83, so we're expected to break that record high. Probably get another one tomorrow. Beautiful looking afternoon, beautiful Friday evening out. Overnight partial clouds and mild 63. Tomorrow sunshine near record warm, breezy 85. And a chance of showers later on Sunday morning into the afternoon with a high of 75. Much cooler next week. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Staging.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off. Free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
Tractor Supply knows that a winning season takes practice, teamwork, and a can-do attitude. Thankfully, when you have a neighbor like Tractor Supply, teamwork comes easy. Whether you're caring for pets, chickens, or a few acres, our team members will help you succeed. Season after season. Tractor Supply. For life out here.
Buying a new car might make you say,
I can't believe it.
Seriously, it's ours? Is this real life? But what you really need to say is, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there to help you choose the coverage you need.
State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois.
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor.
Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them.
What do you mean we don't have enough doctors to doctor all these
patients? Get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Progressive Commercial Insurance can protect your small business with over 30 coverage options, an easy-to-use mobile app, personalized discounts, and more. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in Asheville has two things that all Sportsocracy fans crave: bold flavors and big portions. Oh, yeah. And they've got the balls. Bear's famous bear balls are packed with mac and cheese, pulled pork, cornbread, and deep fried and then topped with bacon and cheese sauce. This is the place to be. Live music on Saturdays and the first Sunday of every month. They partner with the Guitar Bar to host Mr. Jimmy's Barbecue Blues. Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in downtown Asheville and South Asheville.
When the springtime flowers are in bloom and the morning songbirds begin to greet you each morning, you know that the magic of Easter is right around the corner. Easter magic begins at Ingles.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
There's a lot to be excited about in 2025. And for your Atlanta Braves, it's all about a fresh start.
1-2, he hits one well. Deep left field. Gonna head back to the wall. Boom! A two-run home run!
Join us for Atlanta Braves baseball all season.
Fly ball deep right field. Hanging high, carrying back to the chop house. Look out!
The mountain's home for the Braves. Asheville's #1 sports station, ESPN Asheville.
Most people out here think that taking care of one another is important. And most people would step up for a neighbor going through a tough time. Most people around here help out friends and family when they need it. But the funny thing is, most of us won't look for help when we need it. Talk to someone if you're struggling with mental health, because most people out here really care. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Nationally.
The word has been out nationally, affecting all Americans.
Globally.
The world is on fire, folks.
Locally.
This just happened across my street.
For all the happenings.
Inflation. Illegals. Homelessness.
Crime. News Radio 570 WWNC.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, we found out a lot of things about our community. We saw neighbors helping neighbors, and we learned in desperate times one of the best things to have around is a redneck with a chainsaw.
Not just a chainsaw, boy, just country boys in general. When you live in these mountains, you figure it out. Like, you make stuff happen.
After answering the calls for help that they heard on the radio, the Chainsaw Brothers are still here, making it happen.
I forgot to tell you.
Fair,
did
insured,
you see the message
and local.
about
Need
Tyler
tree help?
Warren and
Call
Will
the
Campbell?
Chainsaw Brothers. 3-1. No. 1013.
I'm doing an
316
activation at the draft
From
with
the
them
Eagle
that I wanna
Studio,
rope you into.
WPEK Fair, WMXF Waynesville, W225CJ.
Okay.
Number one
The company
preset in your
reached
car
out to me
and the
yesterday.
new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded
like
so
being
good.
cold.
The Sportsocracy.
That's cool.
Man, I love it. Say it one more time. The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls studio.
Oh, it'll hard to be dumber than the first hour of the program today, but we shall strive for said award.
We're overachievers, Tank. Nobody
That's right. Award
services their community like the Sportsocracy.
Award-winning coverage here in the Sportsocracy.
Well, I mean, we
On
didn't win an
ESPN
award
Asheville.
for what we do.
No. This is we're good at other stuff.
As a matter of fact, I think we won an award. Really, you won it. I was just more of like an addendum.
Well, you helped.
For sure. I mean, I was there, but trust me, nothing I did was what put them over the top. They didn't go, well, I mean, what the mulleted idiots are doing here. That's setting the hook right there.
Oh, so you were Nick Sirianni. Gotcha.
Correct. That's the meanest thing you've ever said to me.
That wasn't a dig. It wasn't supposed to be a dig at you. It was supposed to be a dig at Nick.
That was the meanest thing you've
Don't
ever said.
say that ever again. I'm never putting those words together on the radio again. That was almost a flub. I was almost dead. They're going to take back my award.
For sure.
After that one. Woo. That's one of those landmines you need to remember. It is the Sportsocracy on 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy. Heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app. Seen everywhere on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com. Click that live video link. Subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat if you're just joining us on the program. The award we're referring to was we found out earlier today that the morning job over on 570 WWNC, we were awarded the National Association of Broadcasters Leadership Foundation 2025 Small Market Celebration of Service to America Award today for obviously our coverage during Hurricane Helene. So we're honored by that, but yes, we're having a lot of fun with it here in the Sportsocracy, because that's what this part of my job is. I do the serious stuff in the morning, and then I get to come over here and play in the afternoon and talk sports and be a moron and hopefully entertain. And so anyhow, in the Sportsocracy today, it is time to unveil the Amon Ra St. Brown team.
There you go.
Screwed that up. I apologize. I'm sorry.
Mouth words, memory times.
Well, look, he made it intentionally difficult to say, or his dad did anyway. The Amon Ra St. Brown team.
Well, I mean, at least the good one wasn't equanimous, which is much harder to say.
Yes, that one is much more difficult. These are the players that at ESPN Draft Nerd Jeremy Green likes better than the industry. So, starting with the offensive side of the ball, who headlines this year's team?
The headliner of this year's team is my number 2 quarterback in the class. He's falling again, and the disrespect is crazy. It's one Jackson Nathaniel Dart the fourth.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it. Okay, so I want you to take a journey with me. How many times last year did I get told that Bo Nix was this great quarterback and that I undervalued him and that blah-de, 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 blah.
Yeah, that was quite a few.
If you're one of those people that defended Bo Nix to me and you don't like Jackson Dart, that would be like telling me I really don't like Coke now. Like, Coke 5 years ago was awesome, but Coke now sucks. And no, it's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. You remember that scene from The Office where Pam holds up the two pictures and says, "Tell me the difference in these two"? There is no difference.
Yes.
It's the exact same picture. Jackson Dart is a more talented version of Bo Nix. So if you like one, you should really like the other.
Mm-hmm.
Andreas Pinckney asked, how is Dart falling again? I don't necessarily know that he's falling again. I think it's that the media is – I don't hear anything different from teams. I think the media is picking up the narrative that Pittsburgh doesn't love Dart. The quarterback dominoes have kind of fallen. I still think he goes in the top 25. I'm just not positive where.
All right, Jackson Dart, the quarterback out of Ole Miss. Chances he goes in the first round, where would you put him right now?
85%.
Really? Okay, somebody's definitely going to get in there then.
I believe so. I mean, look, Jackson Dart was the National Player of the Year. You know, in terms of as a high school senior, he was the Gatorade and Max Preps High School Player of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, that's better than Bo Nix. That's natural talent that Bo Nix just does not have.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But they're similar
Tim
players.
Tebow also
He's
won that
super
award,
accurate. Say it again.
I said Tim Tebow also won that award, though.
Tim Tebow was also
Twice,
the greatest, top 5 greatest college football players ever lived.
Sure he was.
Terrible pro because he couldn't
Terrible.
throw.
All right, terrible in the pros.
Tim had talent,
right,
though, which is why he bounced around the league for like 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
In spite of the fact he couldn't play dead in a cowboy movie.
Well, it's just everybody wanted him to play something different, and he didn't want to. I want to play tight end. You can't make me play tight end.
I don't want to be a gunner on special teams. I want to be a quarterback. Yeah, well, you suck at it.
I think he's done all right for himself.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I had never seen his wife until they were in the Oval Office the other day. Mm-hmm. He's done fine.
Yes.
Don't cry for Tim. He wouldn't want you to.
All right, who's the running back of the Amon Ra St. Brown team?
It's Caleb Johnson. This is one of those hills that I'm going to die on. The difference between Ashton Jeanty, Omarion Hampton, and Caleb Johnson is just not what you think it is. Caleb Johnson, if you take away the maturity issues, which he does have some of that, I thought he handled the combine incredibly well. Because what I had heard was a lot of teams think he's super immature. Okay, that's fine. He handled that well. So he was either coached really well or you're overblowing that. I don't know which one, and I'm not going to lie to you, I don't really care. You know, I kind of like a running back to have a little bit of a crazy side and to be a little dumb. I don't think Caleb Johnson's dumb at all. But I've always said I'm asking you to get in 22 car wrecks a week, so I don't want you to be a rocket surgeon. Because at some point you might wise up and go, hey, why do I keep doing this? Is this stupid?
Why am I not playing wide receiver?
Caleb Johnson, to me, he's built like an NFL running back the way I want an NFL running back to be built. You know, I don't love 5'8" running backs. I just don't. They don't tend to hold up well. And even if they do hold up well, they don't tend to play for a really long time. So I can get a kid in mid-2 that is, 4 inches taller than Ashton Jeanty, because he's full 6'01". He's actually 5 inches taller. He's full 6'01". Jeanty's right at 5'8", 224 pounds. I mean, the 4.57 speed, I don't care. I mean, he has long, heavy hitter speed in pads. That's what I care about. I think he will be a bell cow running back in the NFL. Everybody will talk about Jeanty and about Omarion Hampton because they're going to go in round 1. Johnson will be kind of pushed to the wayside, and smart people in fantasy football drafts next year will be taking Caleb Johnson. They'll be really happy they did.
Okay. Did you go 2 running backs or just one?
Just one. It's the exact same setup as the Baker Mayfield team that we did yesterday.
Gotcha. All right, who's at wideout?
Trey Harris. I don't know what the industry's not seeing about him. You know what's funny? Every media guy I talk to, they're kind of passive on Trey Harris. Every scout I talk to loves him. What does that tell you?
What, not enough media guys are getting it?
that the guys that are actually deep diving the film, they're seeing it. The ones that just look on the surface, they're not. And I'll tell you a comp on Trey Harris that I've seen it now and I can't unsee it. Trey Harris and Rome Odunze are the same guy.
Okay.
Neither one has track speed. They're really good over the top. They're really good at getting vertical. There's maybe not as much nuance to their game as I would like there to be, but the raw talent is very similar. Rome Odunze went in the top 10 last year. Trey Harris is probably going to go in the top 50.
Yep.
That's value. Oh, and by the way, he's an XZ receiver, and there's not a ton of those in this draft class.
All right, Trey Harris out of Ole Miss.
You know what there are a lot of?
What's that?
The next guy, big slots. And one of the biggest slots in this draft is Isaac Tesla.
Just going to keep pounding that, huh?
Isaac Tesla, for sure. I'm waiting for him to reach out to me and go, hey, mouthpiece, would you like to be my Paul Heyman? Because I totally would be. You are my tribal chief.
Uh-huh. All right. Isaac Tesla, and then who?
Torrey Horton out of Colorado State is the other receiver on this team.
Yes, that's the one I've been waiting on.
See, did you know Torrey Horton was going to be on this team?
I was hoping he was, because I was kind of looking yesterday at like who if I were doing a list like this, or if I were doing had to bet my house that this guy is going to be a thing at the next level, Torrey Horton was on my list. After watching him and the connection in my brain with him and Chris Godwin, I can't get it out of my head now. And now, as much as I love Chris Godwin, I feel like Torrey Horton is going to be a huge value if somebody doesn't take him until the 4th or 5th round.
Now, the only thing I will tell you is that right now Torrey Horton's an outside receiver more than he is a big slot. Now, he can play that, and he's played it in the past.
Mm-hmm.
He's coming off an injury-riddled season last year. The thing I love about Torrey Horton is I love receivers that have nuance. One of the things that's always been funny to me is that the casual draft nerd or the casual analyst that doesn't actually do the draft, they look at height, weight, and speed, and they just think, well, Dante Thornton's 6'5" and runs a 4.3 40. Of course he's going to be a great player in the NFL. Well, excrement, Terry, why did I not think of that? You know, why the hell do we spend so much time evaluating receivers when all I got to do is look at how tall they are and how fast they run? That makes me so angry. Tyquan Thornton's on line 2. He still sucks. He's still super tall. He's still super fast, and he still cannot play dead in the Western. However, the reason that I said that is because guys like Torrey Horton, who is a little thinner, he does not play super fast the way that, a Dante Thornton, who I like, by the way. I didn't mean to use that as I don't think he's good. He's just the biggest and the fastest in this class, so he catches the shade when I start talking about this. There's a nuance to Torrey Horton that is what Chris Godwin has. There is a nuance that is what Amon Ra St. Brown had. There is a nuance that virtually every really good receiver at some point has, because it's what's so difficult to defend, because that receiver is basically contouring the route in live time. He's not just getting on the field and running the route he was told to run, defense be damned. No, I've got a nuance to my game, so I know I can sit down right here, and me and my receiver are on such the same page that he knows I'm going to sit down here because he's seeing the same thing I am. Those are the receivers I like. That's why and Tank, you feel free to correct me on this if I'm wrong. I would wager I have the highest hit rate on receivers of any draft analyst in the world.
Could be. I've never really looked at it in that respect, but there are a bunch of them.
I don't miss. Now, I can miss on how good you are, but the guys that I say, nope, can't play, couldn't play dead in a cowboy movie, I'm batting so close to 1,000 that it's pitiful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because I know what a quarterback's looking for. A quarterback's not looking for a guy like Luther Burden who's barely open and running his mouth about not getting the ball. That's a 5'11" pipsqueak. Oh, but he's so good with the ball in his hand. Okay, you got to get it there. I want somebody that makes it easy to get the ball in their hands. Torrey Horton makes it really easy to get the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
Let's do the tight end before we dip out for the break, too.
Agreed. Who's your tight end that you're banging the table for?
I just want to see if you can guess it because I've said his name 453 times.
Terrence Ferguson.
That's a good one. That would have been if we had a second team all Amon Ra.
Mitchell Evans.
There it is.
Yes.
There it is.
Yes.
I love this kid so much. He's another what am I about to say right here? It's the word of the day, Tank.
Oh, he's a big slot.
He's a big slot. That's where everybody's missing it with Mitchell Evans. Last year, he played 344 pass snaps. How many did he play out of the slot?
200.
You almost hit that on the nose. It's 199.
Nice.
That's what everybody's missing, is that if you're really wanting this big mismatch nightmare, he's a giant. Mitchell Evans is a gigantor. I'm going to play him in the slot. The fact that he's not overly athletic, it doesn't matter because he's going to be up against slot corners that can't deal with him heads up. If you take away so he's not as athletic as a slot corner. He's so much bigger that they can't deal with him. Now, if you put a linebacker on him, now you're going athletic for athletic, and the linebacker's still probably smaller than him. Safety, same thing. Unless you have a Nick Eamon-Worry who, okay. If you got Nick Eamon-Worry, Mitchell Evans may not have the greatest day.
Right.
But other than that, I think he's just going to be a matchup nightmare. He's got a 73% contested catch rate. I get it. He's not going to play in line. Hey, guess what? Let me tell you a fun story. I'm just looking at my tight end rankings. You know who's not going to play in line? Colston Loveland's not going to do it much. He'll do it, but not much. Elijah Arroyo will virtually never do it. Harold Fannin, he can do it some, but he'll play more as an H-back and things like that. It doesn't matter. Look at how many great tight ends in this league don't naturally play in line. Trey McBride does not naturally play in line. He's now the richest tight end in the league. Watch how the league's developing. Play the matchups. Mitchell Evans is a dude.
All right, you're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. We'll continue with the Amon Ra St. Brown list coming up next.
The quest to regain the...
Why I'm struggling with that so much.
I don't either.
So be here for
new.
every huge moment of the
All
Braves
right, let's do the
2025
lines
season.
here. Offensive line, defensive line.
Diving stop by Ozzie.
And
Got
then
him.
we'll do linebackers
Whoa,
and
what a play
secondary.
by Albies.
The mountain's home for the Braves.
Roger that.
Asheville.
Fly ball to deep right by Marcel. That's way back and gone. Home run, Ozuna.
Join us for Atlanta Braves baseball all season on Asheville's #1 sports station, ESPN Asheville.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
How do you spot the all-new Nissan Rogue Rock Creek? Here's a hint. It's got all-terrain tires, a tubular roof rack you can't miss, and it's tough inside and out with lava red detailing. You'll also find it in its natural habitat, climbing mountains, attacking rugged trails, and never backing down from any adventure. The first ever Nissan Rogue Rock Creek.
Intelligent all-wheel drive cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions. Always secure cargo. Heavy loading of the vehicle with cargo, especially on the roof, will affect the handling and stability of the vehicle.
Have you ever wondered if your pet is lying to you?
Why is my cat not here? And I go in and she's eating my lunch.
Or if hypnotism is real?
You will use the suggestion to enhance your control.
Or what's inside a black hole?
Black holes could be a consequence of the way we understand the universe.
Well, we have answers for you in the new podcast, Science Stuff. Join me, Jorge Cham, as we answer questions about animals, space, our brains, and mind our bodies. Listen to Science Stuff on America's #1 podcast network,
Oh.
iHeart. Open your free iHeartRadio app.
Do you have
search
the
Science
Discord
Stuff,
on your
and
phone,
listen
Tank?
now.
Calling all foodies, beer lovers, and barbecue fans.
I do.
It's on April 9th at Bear's
Red
Smokehouse
Sea did
Barbecue
a,
in downtown
Sportsocracy
Asheville
bingo
for
card.
pork and
He,
pour,
put a
a
super
cut-up
chat in
and
about it.
sit
It
down
is
class. A butcher will break down a hog while teaching about sustainable farming. Plus, Highwire Brewing
and putting in
will be
works
on
if you
hand
want
to
to.
pair craft beers with
just saw that in the
mouth-watering
chat as
barbecue
well.
bites. Join us on April 9th, where butchery meets brews. Go to bearsbbq.com to learn more. Cheers to pork and pours.
Looking to
I
buy
wanna
or
see
sell
how
in
many
Asheville?
things they
At
had in
Clarissa
common.
Sells WNC with eXp Realty, we're proud to be the #1 real estate team in Buncombe County. Give us a call, 828-774-6343. We're here for what matters most, you.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville, introducing you to this month's Parks Community Heroes, Corey and Kristen Short and the entire team at Silverados, who converted their music venue in Black Mountain into a donation and distribution
that's
zone
good.
in the wake of Hurricane
That's
Helene.
good.
Corey and his
They're
team
completely
founded Valley
different.
Strong Disaster
I think they had
Relief,
two
dedicated
things
to
in
providing
common.
essential support to our neighbors in need.
That's
Nominate
strong
your
work from the
Parks
listeners of
Community
this
Hero
program.
at parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
The Sportsocracy.
What are you people? On dope?
It is ESPN Asheville, the Sportsocracy faithful, the House of Reprehensibles. They never let us down. Sportsocracy bingo cards have been created. I feel like we need to be sharing these out on social media.
For sure. I'm going to share them both on social media. We have a super chat from Red Sea as well.
Okay.
Comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
He was stating that he had made a Sportsocracy bingo card and he had sent it to the Discord, and this is a great time to mention, if you are a member of the House of Reprehensibles, which means you have the little beer mug next to your name, we have a Discord that we talk in all the time. And if you're a member of the House of Reprehensibles, you can be in that Discord. The link is on the member page of the YouTube. Click that, put it on your phone, and away we go.
The bingo card is very, very good, though. Some of the
it's
some of
great.
the
The one from Bill Workman is very interactive too.
I didn't see that one.
He
Where
sent it
was
to me
that
in an
one?
email.
Oh, okay.
I'll send it to you.
Okay, all right. I was gonna say I only saw the one from Red Sea, and it's very, very good. Falafel is the free space
for sure.
Because that gets said quite a bit. Your smoking crimes. Jeremy takes a hit of his vape. Insert random Jeremy yelling here. That's
a
one that
solid
always cross. That's one that always gets me to urinate on myself. Insert the tank breaking news dance. Nicely done, Red Sea.
It's very strong. I saw Red Seas right off the jump. Bill Workman's took me a minute because I was writing the words to I've in the break I was rewriting Sir Mix-a-Lot's I like big butts to I like big slots.
No, nice.
Probably look for that video to be coming out sometime in the next 3 weeks before the NFL draft.
Mm-hmm. There's going to be a throw and a dig route in there somewhere. In the rewriting of that. All right, the Amon Ra Brown, the Amon Ra St. Brown. Why? For some reason, April 4th is the day I can never say his name correctly. Never had a problem with it before today.
He's just Amon Ra Brown now.
I just want to be Amon Ra Brown.
I think Amon Ra Brown is a CPA in Springfield, Missouri.
I'm gonna say he's not. I'm going to say Amon Ra is probably not a very popular first name.
Amon Ra Brown is the best Geico car insurance sales agent in Davenport, Iowa.
The Amon Ra St. Brown team, the guys that Jeremy Green likes more than the industry in this 2025 NFL draft class. Let's do the linemen. Offensive tackles.
Anthony Belton is one out of NC State.
Okay.
I love a tackle that can come in and play right away, even if he has maybe not the highest of high upside that I've ever seen. Because I don't think Belton has a crazy high ceiling. I can tell you he has a crazy high floor. And when we get into the third, I think Belton's probably going to go somewhere around 75 to the end of the third round. There are certain teams, especially good ones, that I need a tackle to play right now. The Arizona Cardinals. I need a tackle that plays right now. A guy that could, if Jonah Williams can't come back, or I want to slide him to guard, or whatever the case may be. By the way, the injuries are part of the reason I wanted to slide him to guard 3 years ago. Jonah, buddy, I've been trying to look out for you. Call me. Anthony Belton can come in and play right away. And I put a lot into that.
All right, the other tackle.
Charles Grant from William and Mary.
Mm-hmm.
He is hyper athletic. Now, you want to talk about the definition of opposites attract? The two tackles on this team could not be more different if they tried. Because Anthony Belton has a really safe floor and a really kind of lower ceiling. Charles Grant's ceiling is through the roof. His floor is a little scary. I hear a lot of people talking about him playing guard, which I don't really understand. I don't understand why you would take one of the last real tackle prospects in this draft, and I want to shoehorn him into playing a position that doesn't really make sense.
Is it, or is it that he's not up to top speed at tackle? So Charles Grant, correct me if I'm wrong on this, because I may be thinking of somebody else, but I was watching a profile on him the other day, and they were saying he's only played football for 6 years. Right? He started as a high school wrestler, and then the football coach found him and went, "You can play football." And so he started playing as a sophomore, I guess, in high school, or maybe a junior in high school. And every year he's played, he's gotten better and better. But he's never taken that next step in competition, right? He played in high school, and then he went and played at William and Mary. Could have gone somewhere else. You've said he had offers to transfer elsewhere
for sure,
but he stayed at William and Mary, and so maybe that's the concern, is that he's only up to playing tackle right now at the William and Mary level. Like he may not be ready to play tackle at the NFL level just yet, because he's never seen athletes like that other than being at the Combine or the Senior Bowl.
Yes. So, I mean, he only played his junior and senior year at high school, and he's a fifth-year senior at William and Mary. Another thing that nobody talks about him, he gained 60 pounds while he was at William and Mary. He came here as a 240-pound tight end. He's got a lot. The athletic profile on him is absolutely off the charts. You just you can lead a horse to water. Can you make it drink? And that's the biggest question with him.
Yep. All right. How about the guards?
Bet you can name one of them. Not Armin Mimbu.
Oh, Marcus Mbow.
Marcus Mbow. I mean, if you want a downhill run sledding guard, you're looking for Marcus Mbow. And I keep seeing him in the third round, which I think is just dumb. It's just dumb. Like, all these people take Donovan Jackson ahead of Marcus Imbaugh. Are you high on recreational crimes? Because there's no ceiling to Donovan Jackson at all. Marcus Imbaugh has a ceiling that is out of this world. No, but he only weighs 300 pounds. How much do you want him to weigh? I mean, what do you want him to be 330? He's gonna bulk up because he's gonna be in an NFL strength and conditioning program. I hate to tell you this, but Purdue doesn't have the best strength and conditioning program you've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
So this kid's already a bull moose as it is, and I don't think he even played at 300 pounds. I think he bulked up for the combine. And I'm trying to find now. I have this on my screen somewhere of what he weighed in at. So Imbaugh at the combine was 303, and he was not significantly, but he was doughier than I had ever seen him. And then he didn't run, which tells me you bulked up for this. So you get him to actual 300, legit 300, not just I ate a bunch of cheeseburgers so I would weigh in where you wanted me to be. You get him to a good 305. What do you think? He's going to get weaker? No, he's going to get stronger. And he's still going to be able to move because he is a thinly built offensive lineman. But he's an absolute bulldog.
Yeah. All right, the other guard?
The other guard's Carson Vinson from Alabama A&M. You'll find that there's a weird small school dynamic to the Amon Ra St. Brown offensive line this year. Because Carson Vinson's the guard and Clay Webb out of Jacksonville State's the center.
Okay.
I love both of them. Vinson, I think, has a lot of growing to do. And I'm not going to lie, it came down to Carson Vinson and Jackson Slater, who's from Sacramento State, also a small school guy.
Interesting.
I think Vinson has more, I'll say, flexibility because I think it's possible he could still play tackle. I also think it's possible he could be a center. So the versatility to me and his ability to block as a passer or as to pass block is what intrigued me. Plus, he's really, really tall.
Yeah.
And then Clay Webb was a Georgia 5-star blue chip. Everybody loves you. He couldn't find a spot at Georgia, so he transferred to Jacksonville State, and he's my number 2 center in this class.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about a kid that
Absolutely
will hurt your
owned.
Feelings and then laugh about it. Clay Webb is that kid.
Right, absolutely owned defensive tackles down in the American. Is that right? They're in the American?
No, they're in the Sun Belt?
Conference USA.
Conference USA. I knew it wasn't Sun Belt. That didn't sound right when I said it.
Yep. Yeah, no, I knew it wasn't Sun Belt because I'd made that mistake with Jacksonville State before. So Conference USA. Yeah, I mean he's the tape of him embarrassing dudes down there it's quite entertaining to watch. We'll tell you that. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We will continue with the Amon Ra St. Brown list, the all Amon Ra St. Brown team, coming up next from NFLDraft.net.
ESPN Asheville.
We're clear.
Thank you.
Your mountain weather forecast.
Well, it went 86 this morning and forgot to mention the record high. It's 83, so we're expected to break that record high. Probably get another one tomorrow. Beautiful looking afternoon, beautiful Friday evening out. Overnight partial clouds and mild 63. Tomorrow sunshine near record warm, breezy 85. And a chance of showers later on Sunday morning into the afternoon with a high of 75. Much cooler next week. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Staging.
This report is sponsored
Live
by
from the
A
Ingles
American
studio.
Electric.
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
American
The
Electric has been
Sportsocracy.
family owned and operated right here in WNC. With 3 generations and over 100 dedicated teammates, they are powered to serve our community. Homes and businesses can trust A American Electric. Visit a-americanelectric.com.
Acai Bowl lovers, April 6th is National Acai Bowl Day at Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
Come get you some of this.
Celebrate with $5 off an acai bowl or acai bowl with Nutella. Not a member yet? Join the party by downloading the app and signing up today. Log into your account on April 6th to redeem your offer for $5 off an acai bowl or acai bowl with Nutella. You're on Tropic Time now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Terms and conditions apply.
I went hands-free.
I went hands-free.
I went hands-free.
I went hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins.
Join the millions of people who are celebrating going hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins. Footwear you just step into and they're on.
It's crazy how something as simple as a pair of shoes have made my life better.
After trying Skechers Slip-ins, I want all my shoes to have this technology.
See what everybody can't stop talking about. Go hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
From the very beginning, iHeart has believed in me.
Even now, I still get excited when I hear one of my songs playing on the radio. Thank you, iHeartRadio, for honoring the truth I've fought for in my music.
Because we believe in the power of music. All your favorite artists, all in one place. The free iHeartRadio app.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, we found out a lot of things about our community. We saw neighbors helping neighbors, and we learned in desperate times one of the best things to have around is a redneck with a chainsaw.
Not just a chainsaw, boy, just country boys in general. When you live in these mountains, you figure it out. Like, you make stuff happen.
After answering the calls for help that they heard on the radio, the Chainsaw Brothers are still here, making it happen the right way. Fair, insured, and local. Need tree help? Call the Chainsaw Brothers. 316-1013. 316-1013.
Buying or selling a home doesn't have to be stressful. Let me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your local real estate expert, guide you every step of the way. Whether you're searching for your dream home, looking to sell quickly, or exploring investment opportunities, I've got the experience and the tools to get you the best deal possible. Call me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty at 828-774-6343. Let's make your real estate dreams a reality. I'm your trusted realtor.
Bowels.
Dreams come true.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. Our purpose, to improve lives with every interaction. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. Like Daniel, a veteran who accompanied law enforcement and other veterans to perform search and rescue operations. Like Spencer, who helped build a bridge out of debris to rescue 7 families after the road was washed away. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
The Sportsocracy.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
It is ESPN Asheville, the Sportsocracy, back on a Friday afternoon here, counting down to the weekend. It's always man, you get to this point on Friday, you just want to hit cruise control. You just want to get through the day, get to the weekend. Because you got stuff to do, right? We got either you're resting up this weekend or you know, you've got important things to do. You got important things to do, Jeremy?
Well, I mean, it's mock draft at Palooza, and
there you go. That was the important thing to do.
I mean, and in the words of John Gruden, it's the freaking weekend, man. About to have me some fun. Let's go.
Indeed. And real quick, it's going to be a fun weekend down at Bears Smokehouse Barbecue on Cox Avenue, downtown Asheville. They have live music every weekend, and they got a band called the Lefties going to be playing tomorrow night out there. They have such a cool new space. I know it's not a new space. They've been on Cox Avenue for a while, but now that they've laid down that new AstroTurf, they've got like interactive games and stuff that you can play out on the new patio, I guess they're calling it. They've got the fire pit set up so you can have a nice relaxing evening, have some of the best meat in town, have some of the best brews in town as well, and of course you can have live music. And coming up on Sunday is the first of the series, Mr. Jimmy's Barbecue Blues Jam is going to be coming up on Sunday evening, 5 until like 8 o'clock every that's the first Sunday of every month. So this is the first one, so you don't want to miss it. Sunday evening, Mr. Jimmy's Barbecue Blues Jam. First one ever down at Bears Smokehouse Barbecue on Cox Avenue, South Slope, downtown Asheville, 135 Cox Avenue. You can also check them out inside Sweeten Creek Brewing down on Sweeten Creek Road in South Asheville. The Amon Ra St. Brown team, the guys that Jeremy is just banging the table for, or would be if he were in the war room for your team. The defensive side of the ball starts with the edge rushers, Jeremy. Who do you like the best?
Josiah Stewart. Compared to where I hear him going to where I think he should go. Look, if you want a kid that can get after the quarterback, Josiah Stewart can get after the quarterback. Yes, he's small. Yes, he's never going to be a 3-down guy. No, I don't care. Because how many teams in the NFL year over year say, man, we need a guy that can get after the quarterback? 24 of the 32? Well, there's one sitting there that's probably going to be there till the end of the third round, and nobody seems to want to take him. And I don't get it. I get he only really has that one skill. It's just the one skill that outside of playing any form of quarterback is the most important.
All right, after Josiah, who's the other edge?
Q Robinson is the other one. I love this kid. He didn't play much at Alabama, but his the raw height, weight, speed, and the limited amount of tape is enough for me to say this kid can be really, really, really good if given the latitude. I want him to be a developmental late 3, early 4 as a stand-up edge rusher. Also has a super safe floor as a special teams player because he might be the best special teams player in this draft.
Okay.
Really good blocking kicks, really good blocking punts.
And Q Robinson is, where's he projected right now?
Late 3, beginning of 4.
Okay. All right, defensive tackles.
I said that poorly. I would take him higher than that. That's where I think he's going to go. You asked me 2 separate questions. I just realized I answered both of them the same way.
Okay.
I have him as a top 65 player in the class.
Okay. And the industry has him where?
Early hundreds. Some of them are more in the 150s. I saw him as low as 189 in a big board that I saw earlier this week.
Okay. All right. And that may just be chalked up to we didn't see him play much.
Well, I mean, and I get it. If the fact that he played, I think it was less than 800 snaps the entire time he was at Alabama. If that's too much for you, I get it. Cool. Your loss, my gain, because I'll take him and do it with a big old smile on my face.
Right. All right, let's talk about the tackles.
This almost feels like cheating because both of these guys are going to go – they're going to go early in that I think they both go in the top 50. One of them is a top 10 talent for me. The other one's a top 25. Okay. It's Walter Nolan and TJ Sanders.
Is there any chance that both of them go in the top 25?
Zero chance they both go in the top 25. I would say there's a 70% chance neither one of them goes in the top 25.
That's what I was thinking. 'Cause I've seen Walter Nolan's name not left out of first rounds, but it's like last pick.
I've seen him not go in the first round. I had a very smart individual that is one of the better mock drafters in this country tell me he doesn't think Walter Nolan will go in the first round. And that was yesterday. And if that's the case, whoever takes him in the second round, cool. You got the first A++++. I'm going to give you a – what's the opposite of a Gary Busey? What was the guy in the wheelchair? The Stephen Hawking. I'll give you a Stephen Hawking. Congratulations on your tremendous selection.
That was better. That made it even better. I wasn't expecting the Stephen Hawking curveball, but then you added in the impression was spot on. That's great. All just using your finger. Yeah. Just pretend you're a fish talking underwater. Stephen Hawking. Good job. So good.
Did you have that one on your bingo card? I don't think so.
Not. No. Did we have Jeremy pokes fun at? Never mind. I'm not going there. There was a joke there. Not going to say it. There, now you can mark that one off on the bingo card for me. And a linebacker.
I think I broke
on the Amon Ra St. Brown. Yeah, that's a good one.
Demetrius Knight Jr., that should surprise absolutely no one in the world. And Jay Higgins, you have to stop laughing because I can see you, and I keep wanting to laugh because I'm seeing you laugh.
I'm sorry.
And Jay Higgins from Iowa. Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah.
I don't know why you crossed your eyes as you were doing it.
Because that made it more fun.
That felt like learned behavior. Jay Higgins is a player that I'm pretty fond of because he can cover. And there's so few guys in this class that are linebackers that can actually cover.
Mm-hmm.
And then Demetrius Knight, we've talked about him so much that I don't think I have to tell you the same 8 things I love about him that I've said 400 times.
No, Demetrius Knight went to South Carolina. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
Jeremy loves him.
I don't love every player that went to South Carolina, but
which
which
corner from South Carolina did you like?
Listen, Chuckles, I don't have a corner on this team. However, we're going to talk about third day values the next hour, and there might be a South Carolina corner there, you jackal.
Could be.
Savon Ravel is my number 1 corner on the Amon Ra St. Brown team. Look, there's a possibility that kid falls way further than you think he will. And when I say way further, I mean I'm talking like top of 3. And if that's the case, whoever takes him is outrageously lucky.
I'll riot. I will riot. I will riot if he gets past 56 or 58 or whenever the second pick of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't even care if you took a cornerback in the first round. Will Johnson fell to you or something in the first round. Take both of them. I don't care. That would be ridiculous. Savon Ravel's just he's one of those guys that I have talked smack about these smaller conference guys. He just plays in the American. He just plays in Conference USA. Whatever. There are certain guys that you can watch at that level and go, that guy's got it. I don't know what it is, but that guy, I can put him on a Power 5 team, and he will hold up in the SEC.
Well, look,
I see that in Savon Ravel.
Well, I mean, Savon had close to 7-figure offers to go to schools that played in the college football playoff. So, I mean, look, he stayed at East Carolina because he's super loyal. That story on ESPN did a really good job of documenting that. Of ECU gave me a chance when nobody else would. I was loyal. I stayed here. I could have made more money elsewhere, and I'm not going to lie, I read that, and in my head, he went up 3 or 4 spots as I read it. And I'm not going to lie to you, I already knew every word of what was said in it. But just the way I love a kid that has had – he has struggled in life.
Yes.
That kid was working at an Amazon delivery warehouse, playing at a small JUCO school because he was an academic non-qualifier.
Mm-hmm.
He's a dog. I love him. I think he's a true number 1 corner in this league. I will start singing his praises at about 15 with the Falcons at the draft. And I won't stop until somebody selects him.
It could be a long trip if if what you say is true, that there's a chance that he falls to the 3rd round.
Medical and lack of tape is it will hurt him.
Yep. All right, your next corner.
Trey Amos. I'm very what's funny is that you always talk about how much I love South Carolina guys. Do you realize how many Ole Miss guys I have in the top 100?
Yeah, there's a bunch.
I'll go ahead and do it. It's 8. I have 8 Ole Miss players in the top 100.
Mm-hmm.
And Amos, to me, I don't understand why he doesn't get more first-round love. I love the premise of Denver taking him at 20 if neither of those tight ends are there and Marion Hampton's not on the board.
Right.
Find your joker in the second round. Take your number 2 corner right here, and now him and Surtain are going to shut people down for years to come.
Yeah, the one that makes me scratch my head is when I see Maxwell Hairston over him. And I'm a Maxwell Hairston fan, kind of. I mean, I'm not beating the table for him or anything. I mean, I think he's an okay prospect.
In your system, he's a much better prospect than he is other places.
But Trey Amos is much better to me. than Hairston is.
So anybody that has Maxwell Hairston over Trey Amos, I'm gonna throw out a line that I've lived by my entire life. There are no stupid opinions. There are only stupid people with opinions, and that's Trey Amos is a dog.
Yes, absolutely.
Sorry, the
right.
YouTube replay just went back to the Stephen Hawking impression, and your response was funnier muted than it was with volume.
All right, the third corner.
Nohl Williams out of Cal. I love a good, aggressive press man corner, and I think Nohl is one of the latter ones that you're going to see. I also think he will hold up playing off in zone coverage. He's just way more well-rounded than a lot of the other corners that I see going in front of him. Like, to me, if you take Azareye'h Thomas over Nohl Williams, I'm going to need you to explain to me like I'm 6 why. If it's just the upside, okay. Because, I mean, look, I'm not going to lie to you. I have Azareye'h Thomas ahead of Nohl Williams in my rankings, but not by much. If you need him to play right now, I'd much rather play Nohl Williams right now than Azareye'h Thomas.
All right, and then 2 safeties.
I only have one safety, and even my one safety is a little biased because he played corner, and I'm converting him to safety.
Okay.
So I have one more corner and the corner safety.
Oh, okay.
Jacob Parrish out of K-State is the last corner. Just a slot dog. Now he's a little slot. If you're not a fan of the big slot, Jacob Parrish is a little slot.
Mm-hmm.
Tiny slot, if you will. Mm-hmm. But, man, he plays like he's bigger than he is. He really gets his nose in there against the run. He's really sticky in coverage out of the slot. I did not love him at first, but he's one of those that the more you watch him, the more you love him.
Mm-hmm. All right, and then your C.J. Gardner-Johnson cornerback safety hybrid.
That's exactly what this kid is. It's Caleb Ransaw out of Tulane. When he worked with the cornerbacks at the combine, I'm not going to lie to you, it kind of shocked me. Because I thought it was a foregone conclusion that he was going to play that hybrid role and that he would work out with the safeties. I do not see him playing outside in the NFL. And I have a little bit of a fear that maybe that's where he thinks he's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
An NFL team will shut that down quick. I think there's a great chance he's going to play that C.J. Gardner-Johnson hybrid role, play in the slot, play some safety. There's a lot to like about him athletically, and there's a lot to like about him in terms of malleability, because I think he can do a lot of things. He's kind of a jack of all trades, master of none, because I don't really think he does anything. I don't think he's a finished product at anything. He's also a 5'11", 200-pound safety that ran a 4.3 40. I can do a lot with that.
Yes.
I can do a lot with that.
Yeah.
And I think some of the warts to his game are pretty easy to get rid of.
Okay. The Amon Ra St. Brown team. This is a historic list that we'll have to put in the archive and reference back at a later date because, well, we like doing things like that, and it tends to end up being pretty accurate. There's going to be some solid hits on this list, as there are each and every year. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. He'll go even deeper into the 2025 NFL Draft Class when we return from the top of the hour break. It will be Day 3 dogs. All big values that your team might be able to pick up in Day 3 of the NFL Draft coming up at the end of this month. It's April the 24th. Is the day the day of the first round of the draft, and we will be there with the Ingles Living the Dream Tour. Thanks to Ingles Supermarkets, Parks Ford of Hendersonville. Clarissa sells WNC.com. And, of course, Bear's Smokehouse Barbecue, the official barbecue of the Sportsocracy. We'll be right back after this.
ESPN Asheville.
And we're clear.
Yee! Your mountain weather forecast.
Well, it went 86 this morning and forgot to mention the record high.
This.
It's 83, so we're expected to break that record high. Probably get another one tomorrow. Beautiful looking afternoon,
and
beautiful Friday evening out.
YouTube,
overnight partial clouds and mild 63.
We'll be
tomorrow
good.
sunshine near record warm, breezy 85. And a change of showers later on Sunday morning into the afternoon with a high of 75.
And the run of sleepless continues.
From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist.
Indeed.
This
All right,
report
brother.
is sponsored by Discover.
Later
Guess what? Discover's accepted it.
It's
nationwide.
Yeah, cool.
All right, brother. Have a good. If I don't talk to you, have a good
The
weekend.
face facts.
And
You're stuck.
But I
We'll do.
will one or the other.
I'll try to remember to pop in at some point.
10-4.
All right.
Knows that a winning season takes practice, teamwork, and a can-do attitude. Thankfully, when you have a neighbor like Tractor Supply, teamwork comes easy. Whether you're caring for pets, chickens, or a few acres, our team members will help you succeed. Season after season. Tractor Supply. For life out here.
How do you spot the all-new Nissan Rogue Rock Creek? Here's a hint. It's got all-terrain tires, a tubular roof rack you can't miss, and it's tough inside and out with lava red detailing. You'll also find it in its natural habitat, climbing mountains, attacking rugged trails, and never backing down from any adventure. The first ever Nissan Rogue Rock Creek.
Intelligent all-wheel drive cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions. Always secure cargo. Heavy loading of the vehicle with cargo, especially on the roof, will affect the handling and stability of the vehicle.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them, the right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When you're in the thick of a project, Harbor Freight is the place that always comes in handy. Whether you're picking up something for your pickup truck or a power tool for your project, at Harbor Freight, your dollar always goes further. And these days, when everything seems to cost more, you can take pride in knowing that you get hard-working tools at hard-working prices. Whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in Asheville has two things that all Sportsocracy fans crave: bold flavors and big portions. Oh, yeah, and they've got the balls. Bear's famous bear balls are packed with mac and cheese, pulled pork, cornbread, and deep fried and then topped with bacon and cheese sauce. This is the place to be. Live music on Saturdays and the first Sunday of every month. They partner with the Guitar Bar to host Mr. Jimmy's Barbecue Blues. Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in downtown Asheville and South Asheville.
Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports have teamed up under a new local owner to serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports can customize whatever you, your team, or your local group may need with high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving. Visit mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com. That's mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com for your local one-stop custom apparel shops.
Welcome to Harvest Farms, where the best organic or natural products are waiting for you, where the fields are filled with flavorful delights, and every bite is backed with the highest quality and attention. This is a place of affordable organic adventure, where freshness reigns supreme, that can only be found at Ingles. Harvest Farms Organics. You'll love what's inside.
Nationally.
The word has been out nationally, affecting all Americans.
Globally.
The world is on fire, folks.
Locally.
This just happened across my street.
For all the happenings.
Inflation.
Illegals, homelessness.
Crime. News Radio 570 WWNC.
Looking to buy or sell in Western North Carolina? At Clarissa Sells WNC, we're proud to be the #1 real estate team in Buncombe County, selling over 100 homes in 2024. We represent both buyers and sellers, and with a personalized approach to meet your needs.
At Clarissa Sells WNC, real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. Call me today, Clarissa Marshall, at 828-774-6343. When it comes to real estate, we're here for what matters most, you.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. Our purpose, to improve lives with every interaction. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. Like Trent and Doug, whose first instinct was to fill their trucks with the hardest hit areas in those first hours. Like Eric, who hosted the football team to support their neighbors and begin the cleanup efforts. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
From the Ingalls Studio,
WPEK Fairview,
WMXF Waynesville,
W225CJ Candler,
the #1 preset in your car, and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good. Live from the Ingalls Studio.
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
The Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dogs eat! Let them on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God, the Jets killed him.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app, seen everywhere on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click on that live video link, subscribe to the channel, and join us in the chat. Coming to you from the Ingalls studio, I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Green at the NFLDraft.net, Mullet Manor. Want to talk day 3, guys. Going a little deeper. We talked about the Amon Ra St. Brown team and you know, guys maybe higher in the draft. So day 3 gems is where we want to start here, Jeremy. We'll talk about the offensive side of the ball first.
Well, the funny thing about this class to me is that you've just got so many guys that I look at in the later day, in that last day. The day that we'll be in Green Bay in our nice, comfy Airbnb with the pool table happening, and it's just a lot more laid back. Speaking of which, I forgot to tell you, we have a pool table.
Nice.
The Airbnb, we have a pool table. We have like a whole bar in there's one room of the house, and I can't figure out where it is. It might be outside for all I know. There's a whole bar set up. There's 2 televisions up over the pool table. So we can have NFL Network on one side, ESPN on the other. We got the camera just kind of showing us, and we're having a good time. Because I really don't want to be on Radio Row where it's me, you, and that one weird guy from Piscataway, New Jersey. So we're going to do day 3 from inside the Airbnb.
Okay.
I also got a little bit better of a deal on the Airbnb because of that. So,
nice.
Yeah, hey, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, Tank.
Mm-hmm.
But the interesting thing to me is how many guys we have that are going to go in that day 3 range that are going to be really impactful. One of the reasons that I've been so negative about Ashton Jeanty is that I had to go through and look at all the running backs. And I got into the 4th, 5th, 6th round just going, there are still dogs in this class that are going to come out of that area. And I'll give you an example. Right off the top of my head, one of my favorite day 3 guys is Brashard Smith, the running back from SMU.
Right.
So he has a really weird story because he was a wide receiver at Miami. Not a great one. I mean, he was okay. He had not been overly productive in his first couple of years. 20, 30 catches a year. 40 catches or 30 catches in 2022, 22 in 2023. 200-something yard a year guy. Gets tired of Miami. They recruited a couple guys. He was getting pushed out. So he goes to SMU and converts back to running back, which he hadn't played, if I remember correctly, since he was in the 10th grade. And he runs for 1,300 yards at SMU. He is unbelievably smooth. Unbelievably, I mean, obviously he's versatile because he's played wide receiver, so he's got wide receiver feet, which is, that's kind of interesting. It's one of the same things I say about Savion Williams, is that Savvy Williams is more running back than he is wide receiver. I don't care what position you line him up at. You tell me he's a receiver till you're blue in the face, his best tape's at running back. But what you notice is that he has very fleet feet out of the backfield, because receivers and running backs tend to run differently. Receivers have to be very choppy and choppy's not a good word, but they have to be very light on their feet. They have to be very good at getting in and out of breaks. So you see that out of Brashard Smith. Am I telling you he's going to be a bell cow running back in this league? No, because he's not. I mean, look, the kid's 5. I can't remember exactly what he measured in at the combine, but he's roughly about 5'10", and he's kind of light. But think of it when you think of bruiser running back in the NFL. Who do you think of?
Derrick Henry.
Okay, Derrick Henry's an excellent, not for the offense, but an excellent complimentary piece for what I'm getting ready to say. Derrick Henry can play in the pass game. He can be a pass catcher. I don't think he's a great one, and I've never thought he was a great one. But having somebody like Brashard Smith, if Baltimore really put a lot into that, think of the difference in the dynamic of how you have to defend these two guys. So you get, and I pulled up my combine measurements here. You've got a 5'9", a 5'097", 194-pound running back in Brashard Smith that ran a 4.39 40, has some outrageously good splits. You have that guy coming out of the backfield. You have Derrick Henry coming out of the backfield. What does that mean? There's virtually no chance that you have two linebackers that can play in the same position that are going to deal with both of them. You're either going to have an undersized linebacker that can keep up with Brashard Smith, or you're going to have a bigger guy that can deal with Derrick Henry out in space. Throw the other one out there. If you've got that big lumbering linebacker that deals with Derrick Henry, he's not going to be able to deal with Brashard Smith. And vice versa. You throw that little light linebacker out there, and Derrick Henry's going to run him over. So if you find complementary football, and that's what I'm looking for in day 3. I want guys that fill a role that can be complementary to what I already have. I think Brashard Smith with a bigger, more physical running back, I'll be honest with you, Caleb Johnson. If a team took Caleb Johnson in 2 and then took Brashard Smith in 5, I'll be honest with you, I think your running back room's set for the next 5 years. You need a third guy because you need somebody that's going to be – Brashard Smith, I don't know, will ever be great between the tackles. He was great between the tackles at SMU. I don't know that he'll do that in the NFL. But now I don't have to worry about that.
Right.
I love complementary drafting. I get the most out of player A because I added player B to the room. And I think Brashard Smith is one of the elite ones in this draft class.
Will he be better than Antonio Gibson?
Yes. I knew you were going to ask me that. I was ready for you to ask me that.
Because you can't. All the things you keep saying about him are the exact same things that I kept saying to you about Antonio Gibson.
Well, the problem with Antonio. So, all right. So I'm really glad you said that. So the problem with Antonio Gibson is he was never a good running back. He was always a wide receiver that was miscast as a running back. So yes, he can do all of those pass catcher things. He can't run. Brashard Smith can. That's a really good way for me to phrase Brashard Smith. He is what you wanted Antonio Gibson to be.
Excellent. Then I'm all in. He is a day 3 dog for Flostradamus Jeremy Green. All right, who else?
Well, I'm going to stick with running backs for a couple here because there are a couple guys that every running back's going to get pushed down. So if you look at where they rank, I haven't put out my full big board yet. We will be doing that in the lead up to the draft. You look at guys that are in that 80 to 90 to 100 to 110 range. Those guys probably go in day 3 because there's so many running backs, and you look at position scarcity, everybody's going to get pushed down. So I look at a guy like R.J. Harvey out of UCF who has just explosion for days. He was incredibly successful at UCF. 1,400 yards in 2023, almost 1,600 last year. And the big knock on him was, does he have high-end long speed? Well, then he went to the combine and ran a 4.4.
Right.
So, yeah, he does. He does have high-end long speed. I think that's a guy that could come into an NFL. He could come into an NFL locker room and not be asked to be the legit one. He has to figure some things out in terms of what he's going to be as an NFL running back. Because he's not a great pass blocker. He wants to hit a home run every time he touches the ball. He's got to learn to take the single, which to me is that's one of the things that separates elite running backs from the really good. And I'll give you an example. Le'Veon Bell did that better than anybody I've ever seen until he went to the Jets. And he felt like he had to do everything himself, and he went from an elite running back to an absolute dud. And he never got out of it. Patience and hesitancy are very close to each other. It's a very fine line. R.J. Harvey's got to figure that out. But if he does, he has all of the body metrics. He's short. But a lot of running backs in this class are short.
Mm-hmm. He's little, but he's fast, and those legs are powerful.
Well, and he's another one of those. And this is a great time for me to call on the SID at every school. Could you stop listing guys at 2 inches taller than they actually are? Like, I mean, I've told the leading edge joke on this show forever. The leading edge gives you maybe 2/8 of an inch. 1/4 of an inch, I'll give you. You listed R.J. Harvey at 5'10 and a half. He's 5'8 flat.
Yeah.
Kansas, I think next year they're going to list their corners at 6'11.
Why not?
They had 2 corners that were listed at 6'3 and 6'4, I believe. They both came in at 6'1. Like, we're gonna catch you eventually. It's not doing you any good.
See, it's the gravity shift thing. Like gravity's different down there in the flatlands. It's just dudes measure differently down there. That's all it is.
I feel like that's an excuse that you gave to no less than 4 women from the age of 17 to 24. Because you were very prepared for that excuse.
No, it just caught me at a bad part of the day. It's nocturnal.
I was in the pool.
Yeah.
I was in the pool.
All right, so R.J. Harvey is another running back that is a day 3 dog for you.
He is, and that's what I'm calling these. That's a really good name. I know you love alliteration, so I will cede the alliteration here of the day 3 dogs.
Any other running backs?
I mean, I have a bunch, but I feel like 2 was probably enough. DJ Giddens would have been my 3rd, but I think there's a good chance he goes on day 2.
Okay.
And then you get into like the Jarquez Hunter, and I mean, there's a lot that I could go through here.
Rocket Sanders. Can I nominate Rocket Sanders here?
For sure. I have Rocket Sanders higher than any draft analyst in the world. Now, I do need him to drink a lot of milk and have all the kiwis and bananas he can take, because I'm really tired of he has 6 good plays and then he goes and sits out for a quarter.
Mm-hmm.
That part irks me a lot. But a healthy Rocket Sanders is a really good running back.
Yes, I think he can be a great spell back for the first year or 2, and then maybe get a shot. Kind of Rico Dowdley. He'll find he'll find a spot somewhere where he can get a chance to start. Eventually.
So what you're telling me is when he goes undrafted, you're going to be really irked.
Oh yeah.
I would say there's no less than a 25% chance he doesn't get drafted at all.
Really? Why?
The injury thing I said, how many running backs there are. I mean, look, I pared my running back board down. I still have 33 running backs. That's a lot.
Yes.
I took off the Logan Paulson from the Commanders told me that only a lunatic would have non-priority free agents on their board. So in the effort of not being called a person that needs a life, I did start culling guys that I thought would be non-priority.
Okay.
So we stuck at 540, and that's where we're going to be.
Right. All right. Going from running backs to what? You want to do wide receivers next?
Yeah, I have a lot of those, and there's one that's a name that, Tank, I'm going to wager you've already heard me say this guy's name, I don't know, maybe 500 times.
Mm-hmm.
Isaac Tesla.
Oh, yeah.
I am drunk in love on this kid. First of all, he's got just a sweet, 1994 boot scooting boogie, Billy Ray Cyrus mullet. That is chef's kiss. He's also just a pure dog. And I can't get away from the idea of him somehow ending up with Sean McVay. You remember all the things I said about Jordan Whittington? And he had a couple games last year in that rookie season with L.A. where you saw, man, he's really good at using these guys that maybe didn't do a ton in college. Isaac Tesla fits right into that because he's a big slot. By the way, that's the word of the day. If we're going full Pee Wee Herman, the word of the 2025 NFL draft, big slot. Because I found myself saying that like the 8th time in an interview the other day, and I went, I swear to God, I'm going to have shirts made that said I'm a big slot. With the NFL draft logo on it. The NFLdraft.net logo right in the middle that just underneath it says I'm a big slot.
Yes. Nice.
You know you'd wear it. You know you'd wear it.
Sure. But you have to put Isaac Tesla's mug on it.
No, I'm not putting anybody's face on it. No, it's just that's all it's going to say is NFLdraft.net, I'm a big slot.
It'll sell like hotcakes.
For sure. Dudes will be wearing that into dive bars all over this country, and I'm here for it.
All right, Isaac Tesla, and then?
Well, from there it gets more into the beauties in the eye of the beholder. So, I mean, like I could say Dante Thornton, but I feel like we've talked about him for one. I also feel like there's a great chance he's going to go higher than that for two. I'm going to go. This is one we haven't talked about at all.
Mm-hmm.
How many receivers do you think PFF graded last year in all of college football?
Oh, good Lord. 387.
1,040.
Okay.
You were so close.
I was so close.
How many of them were higher rated than Efton Chisholm?
Let me guess. None.
You won't hear it again?
Uh-huh.
And look, he's the exact
So
opposite.
what's his name?
Efton Chisholm III.
Efton?
Efton. E-F-T-O-N.
No. That's a misprint.
Oh, no doubt. There's no doubt that's really his name. He is also I feel like a legacy and maybe the son of the snooty rich couple on Gilligan's Island. I feel like if they had a long lost child, his name had to be Efton Chisholm. Now,
I still don't believe you. I think I for real think you made this person up.
I did not. You can search him. He went to Eastern Washington. He's 5'10". Buck 85, and he ran a just paltry 4.71 in the 40. You know who I could say all of these things about? A guy that played at the same school he did, Cooper Kupp. This kid's a technician as a route runner. I mean, when I say he might be the best route runner in this class, I mean that. And there's not a route he can't run. He's tough as nails. He's just really slow. So he's only ever going to be able to play out of the slot. I'm not even sure he gets drafted. But I went down a rabbit hole when we were filling out priority undrafted free agents, and I started watching his tape, and I could not stop with Josh McDaniels is going to have a moment when he sees you. Because you're everything he loves and so much more. And he's not one of those guys I say, oh, he needs a cheeseburger. No, he doesn't. You need to play real thin and just be that shifty guy that you are. He's so hard to cover because his feet are almost flawless. There's no wasted motion. There's no wasted steps. There's nothing. And I will tell you this. I think he's faster in pads than he is out of them. And we have guys like that. They happen all the time. That you're better when you put a helmet on than you are any other time.
Mm-hmm.
Efton Chisholm.
He's now my new favorite player. Now I want nothing more than to have an Efton Chisholm jersey.
Dog.
He's a dog, apparently. All right, before we take a break here, you wanna get another shout out for another wide receiver?
Another wide receiver. I have to make this good because you're not gonna like my answer because it's a guy that played for your team and he was not great for your team. It's Arian Smith.
Mm-hmm.
It's Arian Smith. I don't know why his hands were made of stone when he played for Georgia. He got into the pre-draft process, and his hands have been flawless.
Mm-hmm.
So I know he can catch. Now, he could be the exact opposite of Efton Chisholm. He looks really good in a pair of shorts because he is stupidly fast. He plays stupidly fast. He actually didn't test as quickly as I would have thought. When he stepped up at the combine, I felt very sure we're about to see a 4.2 something. And 4.36 is good. It's good.
Yep. I was gonna say he's pretty quick.
How tall is he? I know you don't have the numbers in front of you.
Is he 6'1"?
He's 6 flat.
6 flat. Okay.
You don't see many guys that are over 6 foot tall that move the way he does. The biggest thing with him is the hands. And I'm telling you right now, I've got my visit tracker pulled up in front of me. I think Arian Smith has been to 25 NFL teams already. There's a lot of interest in this kid. There's invariably, I know this is coming, that he's going to get comped to Aeneas Smith that went to the Philadelphia Eagles, the kid out of Texas A&M that was super fast.
Yep.
Aeneas Smith was 5'7". Arian Smith's a legit 6 foot tall. There's a big difference there.
Yep.
I know the hands weren't good in college, but man, he has been really good. He was good at the Senior Bowl. Nobody could cover him at the Senior Bowl. And I know you don't like him, and it's funny. It's a Georgia Bulldog that you don't like, and I do. That's rare.
Well, I didn't like him because he didn't know how to catch. Now, if he we'll reconcile if he ends up on my team, but still not going to like the fact that if he goes to the NFL and actually has a good career, like, why'd you make me cuss at you so much on Saturdays? I'm sick of it.
Why do you make me yell at you? Why do you not just do what I tell you to do the first time?
Right. The talent was always there. Just very, very frustrating player. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. More Day 3 Dogs coming up next. It is the Sportsocracy, and it is time for the most important message of the day, Jeremy Green.
Don't do crimes.
Yes, sir. It's never a good thing to do crimes, but we go to the state that always likes to provide us with the crimes, Florida. Freeport, Florida, in fact, where a man decided to be a little too free in Freeport. 60-year-old Martin LaBeef. I don't know if it's LaBeef or LaBeouf or LaBouf.
I'm going to say it's LaBeouf, but it's probably a lot more funny for this story based on how you led into it that it's LaBeef.
Yes. Well, see, it's like Shia LaBeouf. It's kind of spelled like that, but it's also spelled, LaBeef, like it was in the True Grit movie. So I don't know. But we're going with LaBeef on this one because LaBeef showed up. He is a very beefy individual. This is not – I don't want you to get the wrong picture here as I get descriptive of how this man decided to spend his day on the beach. 60-year-old LaBeef showed up with a few beers and some underwear, but he wasn't wearing the underwear. He was sitting naked on the beach, LaBeefed out. enjoying his beers when, of course, nobody really liked the sight of that, and they called the Walton County Sheriff's Office, and when they showed up, they responded to a man engaging in sexual acts. Thankfully, they don't give us any description of what that is. And they still can't figure out what the underwear was for, because it was women's underwear that he had with him. But there were no women there. And he wasn't wearing them, because he wasn't wearing anything. So he was just toting them. He was toting. Was he carrying the beers in the underwear? Use it as a sack?
Oh no, that strikes me as a guy that brought he brought a plastic bag with his Pabst Blue Ribbon Light. He's trying to watch his girlish figure. After all, he is going LaBeefed out at the beach. So
by the looks of LaBeef here, he was definitely drinking like natties.
Oh, fatty natties?
He's not a high class kind of guy.
Well, I mean, looking at the picture, I believe Fatty Natty would also be a nickname that he could have been called relentlessly in high school.
He will be in prison,
for sure. There was another joke there that I can't tell, but you can infer it. It's fine. My story comes from the great state of North Dakota.
Uh-huh.
It's about Tom Ross. He was the mayor of a town called Notre. It's also about the city attorney whose name is Stephanie Stahlheim. Mr. Ross appears to be, I'll say he's about 55, 60 years old. He's a bald man and a little rotund. Miss Stahlheim appears to be about 30, blonde, rather attractive. Those two things do come into effect in this story in very short order. On Tuesday, Mayor Ross and Miss Stahlheim were discussing the death of a police officer that had happened days before through text message. They go through the conversation. The conversation ends. This was about lunchtime, which is also rather important. After the conversation, Mr. Ross says he's going to take his lunch. He will be out of the office for an hour. Apparently, he then went into his office and decided to twang the magic clanger and record a video of it because he then sent it to Miss Stahlheim.
Nope.
Obviously, seeing the error of his ways, he immediately asked if they could just keep it between the two of them. She didn't see it that way and reported it to government officials. Mr. Ross has now stepped down. He said in his quote, "I do take responsibility for this mistake. I tried to immediately correct it and was unable. The decision I made falls in line with all my work on behalf of the city of Notre. I put my heart and soul into this community." You put something else into this community, too, that we didn't want. But that's neither here nor there. What he said was that he had intended this video to be sent to his girlfriend and had sent it to the wrong person by mistake.
Sure.
So there are only two ways that this story actually went. Either he was trying to swing his shot, which is what I think happened, or he did the thing that I long told a joke on stage of why do adult websites have a share to Facebook button underneath their videos? I've never understood that. That only could possibly lead to boo-boos, and that's what this would be. I can only imagine the angina and the steady pool of diarrhea that would form when you realized what you had done. This is why it's best to just don't play yourself at work. That's
I don't know what's better, the story or trying to hear you tiptoe around the story.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I can't say what I want to say. There's a lot of...
I don't know. Twanging the magic clanger,
There's only one... Let me put it this way, Tech. There's only one word in the English language that rhymes with gherkin, and it just so happens to fall into this story, and I can't say that, and it is a struggle for me because I want to. This is one of those times I wish there was a camera in his office. So, I mean, I don't want to see what led up to it, but if you could cut that video to 3 seconds before he figured out who he had said that to, that's must-see television. Oh, no. Oh, no. No. Has she seen it yet? Oh, God, she's seen it. Oh, why could you not have left me on red?
You're done.
Oh,
you're done.
Just don't open that video.
Don't do that. There are better ways. Yeah.
If I have one mission in life, young kings and old kings of this world, that is not putting your best foot forward. Ever.
No.
Ever.
No.
And can only lead to the absolute upheaval of your life.
Yes.
And many, many, many jokes. If he ever runs for another political office, do you think that his opponent will ask if he will have hands on the problems of the community? Will you take crime into your own hands? Are you the master of your own domain?
He's a worthy opponent.
For sure.
I hear he does great poll work.
Rumor has it that he went into the city manager's office, slammed $100 on the table, and said, "That's it. I'm out of the contest."
Yep. He's done. I will say one thing. There are much better ways to spend your lunch hour, right? Don't get the shaft during your lunch hour. Just settle for the balls. Go down to Cox Avenue, 135 Cox Avenue, South Slope in downtown Asheville, Bears Smokehouse Barbecue. They have the balls, bear balls, moink balls, all kinds of balls. They have they have all your favorites like Paw Paw's poutine as well. And this is a lunch that, it might feel naughty while you're doing it, but you're definitely not going to get canceled when someone finds out what you've been doing during this lunch hour. You need to check out Bear's Smokehouse Barbecue in downtown Asheville or in South Asheville on Sweeten Creek Road inside Sweeten Creek Brewing. 2 locations, and they have live music at the downtown location every weekend. And this weekend on Sunday, it is the first ever Mr. Jimmy's Barbecue Blues Jam. On Sunday evening at 5 o'clock, from 5 until 8 o'clock. It is the first ever, so you want to go check that out. Hey, maybe I'll see you there. Bear's Smokehouse Barbecue, the official barbecue of the Sportsocracy.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why Tank just got an award for servicing the community. Let's go.
Thank you. We'll continue with the Day 3 Dogs after this.
The Sportsocracy.
You were just dumber than a bag of hammers.
It is ESPN Asheville, the Sportsocracy, winding it down to another week in the books, just marking off the days until the 2025 NFL Draft up in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
I mean, if you're not patient, though, we are also winding it down. We are just over 21 hours from mock draft-a-palooza tomorrow. Let's go.
Yes,
let's
indeed.
Go. So excited.
At noon tomorrow on the YouTubes, mock draft-a-palooza. Could be a lot of fun. Now, the Ingles Living the Dream Tour. I'm going to hit the road for the 2025 NFL Draft, and we'll be there covering all 3 days of the draft. And on day 3, there are going to be some dogs to be had. We talked about some offensive dogs at the top of the hour. Let's go defensive dogs for the last little bit of the program here. Jeremy, who's your top dog on day 3?
The guy that I think I like the best that I don't hear anybody talking about is O'Donnell Fortune, the cornerback out of South Carolina. And yes, before anybody says it, I understand that I'm super high on everybody that came out of South Carolina. I got it. That's been pointed out to me a good number of times.
That's why when you said something against Nick Eamon-Worry the other day, I went, wait a minute. What?
Wait a minute. You don't say bad things about South Carolina guys. You just wax poetic about how great they are.
Mm-hmm.
O'Donnell Fortune to me is what I said at the top of the hour about, hey, SIDs, stop listing guys at the wrong height. You probably cost O'Donnell Fortune a solid round by listing him at the wrong height. They had him at almost 6'2". He came in just a shade over 6 flat.
Okay.
And when you look at how he plays, that is one of the biggest pluses for him was the length. So when you show up and you're an inch shorter than I expected you to be, people look at that and go, oh, you're not as long as I expected you to be. And then they kind of shade off the tape. The tape says that this is a guy that's really aggressive, really good at getting his hands on guys, but he probably plays in more of an off-zone coverage, and he's not a great tackler. So when I see him show up an inch shorter than I thought he would be, that makes you just naturally – you start going, is that why you don't tackle any better than you did? And that's not doing a service to a guy. It also does absolutely nothing for you. So stop doing that. But this is an older prospect that I think comes in ready to play right away. And if you put him in off-ball zone, then the fact that sometimes he wasn't necessarily as sticky in coverage, that kind of goes away. And his instincts come out, and the fact that I really think this kid can move at a high level. And he's one of the best Peanut Tillman players that you've ever seen because he's really good at bunching the ball out.
There you go. I like a good physical corner, and the fact that he came in and measured shorter, but he doesn't appear that way on tape. I mean, that's got to be a plus that he plays bigger than he is, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
All right, so this is the Avatar theory. You told me how good Avatar was. You would wax poetic about it. I went in thinking this is going to be the greatest movie ever, and it was flying blue people. I hated it in 8 minutes because you overhyped it.
Right.
Well, that's what you did here. I thought I was going to get a 6'2" and some change corner that was big and physical, and I could teach him anticipation, and I could teach him a lot of these things. Well, then he shows up, and he's just a little bit over 6 foot tall. That's much less impressive.
Yep. All right, let's go to your next dog.
I love this kid, and I've talked about him a ton in other shows that I do. It's Thor Griffith from Louisville. The tape at Louisville was not as impressive as I wanted it to be. Kid's a Harvard graduate, or a Harvard transfer, excuse me. That's just an absolute dog of a football player. He was Ivy League Player of the Year. Transfers to Louisville. The tape was still good. He's elite against the run. I don't know that he's ever going to be a great pass rusher, but I think he will be a good one. The reason that you'll be able to get him so late is he has one of the weirdest body types I think I've ever seen. He is the thinnest 320-pound man I've ever seen in my life.
The thinnest?
He is the thinnest 320-pound man I've ever seen.
Okay.
Wasn't invited to the combine, so he didn't get to show that lateral quickness. And I just feel like people are forgetting about him. He's been a top 20 PFF graded defensive tackle for 4 years.
Wow.
Last 3 years, he was 18th at Louisville, 9th and 9th at Harvard 2 years in a row. I just think he's a damn good football player.
Mm-hmm.
He's got some athletic limitations, but what you see on film is that kid can play in the NFL. He's a rotational piece. I'm not sitting here telling you to take him in day 2. These are day 3 gym finds. And I just keep coming back to him. I keep seeing him fall down boards. And I see guys like Ty Robinson has passed him now. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And it's solely because Ty Robinson is 6'6". The tape's not nearly as impressive. But Ty Robinson went to the combine and ran fast with that 4.83. And so everybody just loses the fact, oh, yeah, he's got to be able to play football. I don't care what he does in shorts. Can he play? Thor Griffith, I know can. And I keep seeing him with a smart team. Like a smart team is going to take him in the 7th round, and I'm going to lose my mind when they do. Nobody will talk about it, and that kid will be a contributor for the next 8 years.
All right. Day 3 dogs, courtesy of NFLDraft.net. Who's next on the defensive side?
I talked about this guy a little bit yesterday when we were talking about linebackers. If you told me one of them became an absolute steal, I would go with Jay Higgins out of Iowa. He's going to get pushed down because he ran really slow. But then you really nestle down into the actual workout, and he's a lot more impressive. Even just the metrics are a lot more impressive when you get that deep down into it. He showed up short. He was under 6 foot tall. And there are some teams that, I'll be honest with you, they see a linebacker under 6 foot and they just, nope, not even on the board.
Right.
And I think that's an error in judgment with this kid. Because you look at that 20-yard shuttle at 4.35 and that 3-cone at 7.01. You add that to the fact this kid is just ridiculously smart. Team captain, I love team captains that play linebacker. Really good communicator, really good tackler. And what you're worried about here is the fact that he's not an elite straight line athlete. Only had a 33-inch vert. I don't care.
If he's a linebacker, I want him to be able to. I want him to be able to win at the point of contact, and I'd be afraid that a smaller guy may not be able to do that.
So the thing about him, and the 33rd team said this better than I could, that he had a lot of ball production while he was at Iowa with pass defenses and interceptions, and they said that can be a little misleading because there were a lot of those plays that were tipped at the line because he had 5 interceptions and he had 8 pass defenses in the last 2 years. I don't necessarily think that's as misleading as they're saying it is. There's a knack to that. There's a merit to a guy that when things go chaotic and a ball's tipped at the line, that he's there to make the play. Mm-hmm. I don't see that as a negative to your ball production. I think that means that you have a really high football IQ and you react quickly in the moment. I really like this kid. I think he's one of the more balanced linebackers in this class. He's also the best coverage guy in this class among all the linebackers, and I'm not going to lie to you, it's not really all that close.
Out of all of them?
Out of all of them. He's the best coverage linebacker in this class, and it's not close. And you know me, I'm not big on those first 2 down run linebackers. I mean, it's fine to draft them. I don't put a ton of value in it. Because every year when I evaluate the draft, I'll have 20 to 25 to 30 linebackers on my board, and 20 of them are first 2 down guys. It's easier to find that than it is to find a guy that can actually hold up in coverage.
Right. And Jay Higgins apparently is a day 3 dog.
He is a day 3 dog.
And then who?
I really struggled with who I was going to say here because I've talked about some of these guys so often that I wanted to go a little more deep divey than I've gone in the past. So I decided to go Elijah Ponder out of Cal Poly. And that is, I'm aware, that's a much deeper dive. It's a deeper cut. That's what we're doing here. I think he has the raw to be really good in this league if you're willing to take the time. Because look, the level of competition is going to be so discrepant that the fact that what he did at Cal Poly is good, but he's not ready to play in this league right now. Then you get to the athletic testing at his pro day, and this kid is not of this earth. I mean, I'm trying to get to his the pro day numbers here. I know I've got them somewhere. So he came in at 6'0", 257 pounds, ran a 4.2 short shuttle, had an 11-foot broad jump, a 41-inch vertical, had 22 reps at 225 on the bench, and ran a 4.57 40.
Wow.
Now, if that was just in a vacuum, that wouldn't impress me all that much. But then I go back to the tape and go, all of that showed on tape. He's doing it against guys that are going to be CPAs in a year. So that's the reason it doesn't look all that impressive, because he looks like a man amongst boys. Then you see the athletic testing numbers and go, no, he is actually a man amongst boys. Because everything I just said would have tested in the highest 10% at the combine. So even the best athletes in this draft did not test as well as he did. He is a put a pin in him 6th-round pick that I project as a standing 3-4 outside linebacker. Carolina Panthers, look, I know you don't like listening to me, and you like to do things that are way off my beaten path. If you listen to me about anything, take this kid in the 6th round. Take one of those late picks in the 200s. Put this kid on your roster. Hide him on your practice squad. And just leave him in mothballs for a year. I think 2 or 3 years from now, you'll be really, really happy that you did.
Elijah Ponder from Cal Poly.
I told you I was going to go deep today, Tank.
Okay, that was a deep dive.
These are the deep cuts. This is like the B-side of the album.
All right, we got like a minute left. You got one more?
I do, and this is one that I haven't talked about as much. He tested well, and you happen to know this guy pretty well. Tyrion Ingram-Dawkins from Georgia. You got to remember, sometimes guys get washed out. He played a lot this last year. The production wasn't necessarily there, but I feel like it wasn't because he's not a good player. It was because there's so many good players around him that he just got overshadowed. Mm-hmm. And then you look at the raw testing numbers, he's super tall. I think he could even slot in as a 5-tech, as just a hyper-athletic 5-tech that you're going to have to beef up a little bit, but use his raw testing numbers and his raw ability. Another one that you put him in mothballs for a year, and then just we'll talk in 24 months, and I think you'll be happy with what you got.
All right, your day 3 dogs for the defense from Jeremy Green. NFLdraft.net, your one-stop shop for all of the latest rankings and mock drafts and the like. Mock Draft-a-Palooza tomorrow at noon on the YouTube stream, so be sure to join in with Flostradamus for that. I may make an appearance. We'll have to see what.
I'm
getting into.
For
I got
sure.
I got a kid with the flu at home apparently, so Lord knows what kind of grossness I'm going to have to put up with tomorrow.
Hey, we'll be doing it for a while, so if you can pop in for 20, 30 minutes,
Absolutely.
That's great. If not,
Absolutely.
we totally understand. And be sure to go to NFLdraft.net to get your I'm a Big Slot T-shirt that you can wear on draft night.
Most definitely. Enjoy the weekend. We'll be back with you on Monday here on ESPN Asheville and the YouTubes and the iHeart Radio app.